Sorry about that.
Hello.
I had to take care of my dog, and then I had to go pick something up, and then look, a lot of things happened that made me late.
When you say take care of your dog, I just want to make sure.
I need to take her out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Like out
I'd also-
back or Sorry,
Woke up this
For a walk.
morning, got yourself a gun.
I'd also like to mention that it took us saying Graham making noises to summon Mick.
Well, listen, Mick is just Graham with extra stuff.
Yeah, if you take
Quite a
all
few
the
extra
letters of
steps.
Mick,
No
you
offense,
take
Graham.
all of the letters of Mick and you replace it with all the letters of Graham, you get Graham.
We literally
Yeah,
only
that's
have
right.
one letter in common.
Yes,
It's M.
Which
Our
one?
last names are similar, though.
a little. But I love how the name you have, the letter you have in common, it makes it easy to combine your names so we can get Gramic.
Yeah.
Gramic.
Yeah, my favorite Mario villain.
We were Dragon Ball Fusion.
my favorite Dr. Dre album, The Gramic.
Jordan, put up a picture of
What?
the Magic Koopa from Mario with Graham's face.
Oh my god.
God, Lord.
right. Nick, you
Okay.
get to rein us in today.
All right. And now back to KRUG with all of your favorite. Hello and welcome to the Showlies hits.
In the morning. Or in the afternoon at 5.
I don't know. When does afternoon become evening?
God.
And we're
Let's
back.
go ask the sky.
Really wish your I need to fill the silence wasn't telling Taylor to die. It just a personal preference.
It's not you specifically, it's anyone. I'll do this for anyone.
I don't
I'll
believe
kill you.
I relate to this.
kill whoever I want. I'm a sponge. I fucking reproduce through budding.
Mick, you have a lot to handle tonight.
My favorite African country. Kenya?
God.
But there goes your Kenyan audience.
It's okay.
So-
We still got Zimbabwe.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, incidentally, before we begin, I just want to let you know, I have a secret weapon that at any moment I can kill Jordan. If any of you want me to kill Jordan at some point, just let me know and I will.
All right.
Why would
sounds
you
good.
want me dead?
I don't know.
Well-
No, but I'm just you know,
Like exclusively Jordan?
exclusively Jordan.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like the thing is, it's a bit like a drone strike. It might hit all of you, but it's like targeted at him.
No
Correct.
way. He's all the way in the other side of Jersey.
Correct.
There's no way it's going to hit all of us.
Oh man.
The other
All
side of
right.
Jersey isn't real.
I've had a
The
good
other side of
life.
Jersey can't hurt you. The other side of Jersey.
Yeah, Mick, I'm also in Jersey. Can you target me instead? I'll take one for the team. Jordan,
It's
you
easier
don't
if
have
he
to
takes
solve it.
South Jersey because there's less things.
No,
to
man,
note
it's
there.
it's a joke that'll kill him if you catch
Yes,
my drift.
I figured.
Oh, good. Okay. Anyway, point being, so today we are welcome to the Showlies, or as I will insist on calling it, the SpongeBob Lees, because I do that for everything.
Yeah.
In which we talk. Today we're talking about our favorite SpongeBob episodes.
First episode bracket.
Yes, it's the first episode bracket. Hey, where'd you get that piano?
I
I had to give.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's great. So, do we want to just start? Because, unless, I don't know, where were you in
Just watching
the
SpongeBob.
year
I
of
mean,
SpongeBob?
mean-
Like, can we just, have we just start?
we have some honorable mentions and some
Oh,
episodes.
yeah, that's right, I forgot. Honorable mentions, yeah.
Can Christian go first? Because I want to see him do these with 5 seconds for each.
Go ahead, Christian, go.
I made an animation about pizza delivery once in Flipnote Studios. Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost is one of my favorite reaction images. SB129 as the Chrome joke. Arg as Weast. Your Shoes Untied as the Ween song. Dying for Pies on the bracket. Gary Takes a Bath as the bomb joke. Procrastination is just very relatable. Sailor Mouth has the dolphin noises. Artist Unknown as Bold and Brash. Rockabye Bivalve is just fucking weird. Overtime! Krusty Krab training video probably should have been on this bracket. Murray Man and Barnacle Boy 5 is Krakatoa! And I Had an Accident is the gorilla.
Well, I learned so much about your insight and about what you see in episodes, and I feel so vindicated just from how much you explained in those honorable mentions.
Yeah, Christian, you had a full another minute and 20 seconds on the clock.
I'm going for world record pace, okay?
Fair enough. All right.
Oh, I get the popcorn. Jordan.
Okay. Well, now I know what the bar is. So, okay.
Yeah, you have to go faster than me.
I'll go
Do what
from
makes
the
you
bottom
happy.
up. Krabby Land, I think, is underrated. It's a very good Krabs Greed episode with a lot of good gags I like in it. Muscle Bob Buff Pants, I like it because it's season 1, yes, but it's a very good story. I like the thing that SpongeBob is still learning. I like the means way which he gets there. Mermaid Man Barnacle Boy 5, I always like that one the best out of those because it's just the shenanigans of them in superhero outfits. It's silly enough, and I like how they got to that very
I like
easy.
it too. I just wish that they didn't all like immediately die the second they're
Well,
all
I
introduced.
like the fact that it's a setup and then that happens. I like that. Fry Cook Games, probably. I wish it was on here. Honestly, it's a really good story, and I like that it gets to the way it gets. Yeah, Plankton's Army, good Plankton episode. The whole run where they're making fun of his name is amazing. Squilliam Returns, arguably should be higher up. Again, great escalation of conflict. The whole thing, the inside SpongeBob mind is great. Squid on Strike. I mean, it taught kids about seizing the means of production and taking apart the establishment board by board. That's great. Also, just great gags. Krusty Krab training video, like Christian said, should be on the bracket. Missing Identity. I really like the way this story develops. I like how it starts with like a noir, like Bridger that has the back and forth of people asking him in the cafe, "Why did you eat snail po?" And of everything on my honorable mentions, Graveyard Shift probably should be there because I think that's one of the most iconic SpongeBob episodes. And I love that the complete subversion of what you think is a creepy plot. And also that ending is an all-timer.
Nosferatu.
Who wants a Krabby Patty at 3 a.m?
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
One of my favorite gags
I burned my hand at night.
at night.
Oh god, this is going to be the whole recording, isn't it?
Taylor, you go.
Okay. All right. I'll try to do this too. New Leaf. I just like the juxtaposition. Like Plankton is playing the long con, and it like almost becomes Sweet and Ceremonious, and then right at the very end they pull the wool. But for those moments that Krabs and Plankton are actually getting along, I'm like, oh wow, this is the end of Plankton's character arc. This is kind of crazy. And I just kind of like it from that perspective. Missing Identity. I made a whole Toon Twister 3D recreation of this episode on Toon Twister 3D, the PC game. I don't know why. There's just something about this episode that I'm crazy about. The most important meal of the day, turning it up in Gary's way. I had an accident. I fucking just love SpongeBob constantly talking to Chip, Penny, and Used Napkin. But I'm gonna say he has Chip favoritism. He never talks to Used Napkin unless Used Napkin is being mean. And I think that he just plays favorites right in front of Chip, right in front of him, and that's just fucked up.
Take it away, Penny.
What Painters is on here? I realized that I like the Secret Box because it meant that Band Geeks was coming up, but Secret Box is fun.
It is.
Selling out. I mean, Krabs turns the entire Krusty Krab into a Ruby Tuesdays. What can go wrong? I mean, you wouldn't want to talk to human resources.
The chowder guy.
Yeah. Krusty Krab training video. I love that. Yeah, it's true. It should be on here. I do not like how it ends. I always have not liked how that video ends.
Oh, it's one of the best possible. They should not have ended it any other way.
How does it end again? I actually forgot.
It's the secret formula. I always thought that my recording got cut off, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
I wanted to know the secret formula. Anyway.
I mean, it's not every day that kids show can say "fuck you," but that's a very good "fuck
It
you."
does. It's like, nah.
Yeah. Pranks-a-Lot is a really fun after SpongeBob meets the Strangler one where they turn invisible and just go terrorizing people. And I like that Mr. Krabs is the ultimate, like, we can't get to Mr. Krabs. And then he turns it around and like usually Mr. Krabs has to pay his comeuppance for being greedy, but this time SpongeBob and Patrick just pay their comeuppance by being naked.
Yes.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3. Jordan did make an interesting point. This episode you really watch for, excuse me, sure, I do believe you dropped your wallet, but like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's so fucking great. And also the Orb of Confusion is such a stupid gag. And I like how when they become Ash, they go down the pole, and then it's one of those like, oh, they clean up by becoming Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I always liked like seeing like how they change, like how whenever SpongeBob like disfigures a character, how there's in the next frame they're fine. Marc.
Yeah. Yes.
Things.
All right. So I'll do on the bottom here. Employee of the month. A very good early run episode that really explores the only time it actually gets like hostile between Squidward and SpongeBob, which they never really would do again on the show.
What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, we'll
It
get to it.
happens
We'll
in
get
one
to
of the ones we're covering.
We'll get to it.
Well, you know, we're like in a competition with each other. It's crazy. Something smells. Again, a lot of stuff. So yes, that Sunday and all that.
Look at it.
Plankton's Army
You
is
gave
on
me
here.
ugly.
Plankton's Army is on here because of course the Sheldon thing. Christmas Who is a fucking holiday classic thrown on every year. New Student Starfish, just that one hit home to me because like I was very much like be a good student. To see SpongeBob lose his shit over something so minuscule as the stars, yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah. As for a later era stuff, I put down here Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy the movie. I personally think that's the last great Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode.
Did someone say boom?
Yeah. It's just actors, so good.
Oh god, that's right.
Yeah, and pizza delivery. I want to give a shout out because that's like a top 2, top 3 favorite, and I honestly thought it was going to make the bracket, so that's why it's compromises. But yeah, pizza delivery. Yes, the ending. Yes, Squidward's redemption arc, but it's just so funny. It's one of those episodes, and I'll bring this up a lot, but like SpongeBob scripts, especially for the first 3 seasons, are so tight and so perfectly placed that you could just give it to actors and the pacing is perfect and the line delivery is perfect. Like, it's just good comedy writing, and Pizza Delivery is a great 2-man showcase with SpongeBob and Squidward.
Pizza delivery is okay.
It's not just a boulder.
It's a rock.
It's a rock.
A rock.
My favorite Middle Eastern country.
Look, honestly, after the joke, after I saw the joke the first time, it's the only thing I think about.
All right.
Going all over the place. Kenya.
There's 2 countries, Taylor.
And they're both relatively close to each other.
I mean, not really, but
They're on the
Say
same
no,
mass of land.
I'm just establishing patterns. I'm just trying to have a good time with my buddies.
Vinny?
All right. So most of my honorable mentions are already on the bracket with a few exceptions. I'm going to try and go through them as quickly as possible so we can get to the meat and potatoes. Party Pooper Pants and SpongeBob's House Party, they're kind of a 2-parter. I just have a lot of nostalgia for...
Wait, what's Party Pooper Pants?
Party Pooper Pants, that's when SpongeBob is throwing a house party.
And, no, but
yeah.
you have them listed as 2 different things.
Well, I think it was because it was a 2-parter, or at least it was listed as it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was basically a 2-part special about SpongeBob throwing a house party. I just have a lot of nostalgia because that's an episode I used to watch because this was back when they released, I think, like DVD or DVDs of SpongeBob episodes, and that was just the one I had.
Yeah, no, he's right. It's a 22-minute episode.
Yeah.
No. I just thought the whole thing was called SpongeBob's House Party.
No.
Yeah.
The marketing was, which probably that marketing. I think that's the first like big event of a kids show that I remember watching. It's like, wow, 22 minutes.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Exactly. What was it? Krusty Krab training video. I kind of wish workplace videos were that enthusiastic about where you worked. And
No, you don't.
Jeez, one.
No one
I
wants
wish.
to be a Squidward.
Grill skills.
What was it? Snowball effect. I feel the ending on a personal level when it comes to like RPGs and whatnot. So that I
forgot to put that in mine.
Dude, when Squidward fucking gets so invested at the end, and he's like, "What about the possibility of an
aerial attack?" The bully, I just like for the ending alone, where SpongeBob literally solves his problem by doing absolutely nothing. And And Just One Bite, I think it's a really fun and interesting episode all about addiction when you really dig into it. And
Kind
just
of, yeah.
how accurate it
Guys,
can be sometimes. So,
Does anyone remember the deleted scene from Just One
Yeah.
Bite?
Yup.
Oh, there was a deleted scene from that episode?
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
don't know. So Vinny, when Squidward arrives at the Patty Vault, what happens? Does he go right into the Patty Vault?
Yeah, he does, I think.
No. Okay, so here's what
Well-
used to happen: is he would try to get in through the front door, and there would be a bucket of oil, or no, gas.
So the thing is, the bit is that he's like, what's the security in here? And he looks up, and there's like a single bucket of water above the above the door, and he goes, "A bucket of water? That's our security system." He opens it up, the bucket falls on him, and he's like, "Wait, what's that?" And he's
This
like,
is
"Oh,
water?
it turns out it's gaseline." And then a robot arm drops a match on him.
For some
and that
reason,
happens. And that happens twice before he gets to the vault.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And they removed that scene. I don't know why. I'm
Probably because
assuming-
it's padding. And
yeah,
like,
it wasn't really
tags
needed
on
for the
it.
overall.
But, geez.
So that's the thing, though. No, it's that. So that's actually not the reason. It like actually did like air. Like it actually did. Like I've seen it. I saw it
Honestly.
on.
I thought
Yeah.
it was how the episode always should have been, but then
Yeah.
You know, it's funny too. Real quick, just to go on a little bit of a tangent with what was it? One episode on the bracket, Shanghaied, that has like 2 deleted scenes, and funny enough, that was the first time I ever saw those 2 deleted scenes. Because
That's
every
really
time I've
interesting.
seen Shanghai, it's always like the part where SpongeBob only gets the wish, and that's it.
Well, we'll get to that when we cover the
yeah.
episode. But I think it's very interesting that we all have different because I didn't see it until much later. The
I
2
don't know.
deleted endings. So
And then just
I
one
don't know
more,
anything about this.
one more in the honorable mentions I have that isn't on the bracket is Born Again Krabs. Honestly, I just like it just because I think it's interesting to see what if Mr. Krabs wasn't so cheap. And I always love the bit where he literally, like, when he realizes he's not dead, he just unrewinds the footage from
love
the
that.
person back into the movie.
Right.
I love that bit.
For a second, I thought that this was One Crab's trash
Yeah.
with Smitty Warby, Anchorman Jensen.
It was dead now.
He was number one.
For some reason, I was thinking of
Floating shopping.
Nicholas. For some reason, I was thinking of midlife crustacean, and I was about to say,
Yeah,
"Oh,
me too,
I hate the
kinda.
pills."
I mean, nowadays as an adult, nothing's more terrifying than going to the grocery store and realizing how much you spend on groceries.
I mean, I just remember, Christian, the one time where you're like, "Guys, I'm actually taking the pill now."
It's like the fucking pill, the largest pills I've ever seen.
He
in
turns
my
on his
life.
fucking camera and he's like holding it in a fist. It's giant.
And you have to take 3 of them. Viewers in the comments, guess why I was taking that pill?
the
We're
answer
done.
may
That-
shock
if-
you.
If we get our first round of actual community engagement because of the theories
pill.
about what pill Christian is taking, then I'm.
That's great. Nothing gets the viewer engagement up quite like drugs.
Hey viewers, I'm having surgery next week. Guess what kind in the comments?
Can we get this to 500 likes? If we do, I'll keep getting surgery.
And I'll get some fun ones.
It's going to be so hard not to just quote the entire episode for each of these rounds.
Yeah.
Well, we're
Yes.
gonna do.
We're
our
gonna
best.
try.
Let's talk about SpongeBob.
Let's
you
talk about
ready?
SpongeBob. Me. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the episodes that we're going to talk about today.
So,
Jordan,
Our-
please cut that.
Cut
shut the
it.
fuck up! I'm trying to start the yearlies.
This
Stop it early.
This is the Showlies.
Shut the fuck up to the yearlies.
Okay.
Okay, go.
So our first matchup is round 1, whatever the turn 1, sure, whatever. Is Wet Painters, which is a Vinny pick, and Imitation Krabs, which is a Jordan pick. Who would like to go first?
I could if you want me to. I'd be open to you going first as well, Vinny. I mean, however you want to work it.
I'll go first. Why not?
Yeah.
So, what was it? Wet Painters. I actually really like this episode just because of how much Mr. Krabs like screws with SpongeBob and Patrick, and it's also just like This episode just has a lot of funny bits in it, with Patrick like just freaking smashing the dollar with what was it, a computer?
Oh, yeah.
Knowledge.
Quoted that so many times.
What was it when SpongeBob's about to start painting the wall? And Patrick's just like, "Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards."
Marc and I quoted that all the time when we were kids.
I love that bit
Yeah.
so much.
I think the best Patrick bit is what could be worse than a giant paint bubble? Oh, I know.
Two giant paint bubbles.
But then, like, to go further, like, I don't think this can get much worse. Nonsense.
I always found this episode awfully satisfying.
Honestly, like, if you're a big Patrick fan, like this is like the best episode ever because Patrick is such a menace, and I absolutely love it.
Well, because when it's just the two of them, like when SpongeBob and Patrick are like working in form with someone else, then they both have to be equally annoying to torture someone. But when SpongeBob and Patrick are together, SpongeBob has to play it straighter than Patrick, and that's when Patrick truly gets the opportunity to shine.
Yes.
This isn't the only example where we're going to see that, but we also when we get to like the montage of like them trying to get the paint off, and we just get to a point where we're just torturing Patrick.
Oh god, no, the funniest thing to me though is when Patrick just brings up like, what is so important about this dollar? I mean, it's not like you could just take any regular dollar and just put it there.
Damn.
No, it has to be this one particular. And for some reason, Mr. Krabs just has a vending machine in his house.
I love that.
I forgot about the fucking vending
The timing of the music and the timing of that as he just hit the shot, the close shot of both his hands on the mouth of the thing.
I would love to
this
be
episode so much.
in the writer's room for this episode.
Oh,
It's like,
yes.
Okay, how do they get rid of this easy answer to the other dollar? There's a vending machine. I don't know. It's like, okay, sure. Why not?
Like,
Yeah.
for as random and chaotic as the episode is, it's so hilarious with how nonsensical it is.
God.
Like, it embraces it wholeheartedly.
I do think it takes a little while to get started. Like, we really have to wait until we get into the house and Krabs is gone for like the episode to really begin, and even more so than that after like they realize that the paint is on the wall. As a kid, like I had no notes. As an adult, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of the cut off the butts joke as much anymore. I don't know.
I mean,
It's silly stakes.
Well, yeah. I
mean,
listen. I have the curse of now watching these under the microscope of what are the good points of this episode, what are the bad points.
I mean,
And
reasonably though, Taylor, what else was Mr. Krabs going to threaten them with? SpongeBob already works less than minimum wage at the Krusty Krab, so what is he going to do?
My favorite Krabs stakes one is from a different episode where he's like, and whoever doesn't gets the boot. It's very stinky, and you're going to have to wear it the whole day. Like just silly stakes things like that.
Exactly. You know, it's in line with what Mr. Krabs will do.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Mr. Krabs is actually going to cut off someone's anus and.
Well, no, that's why he says like I just like messing with you with this.
No, I know.
Like, he wasn't actually going to do it.
And like the ending is karmic punishment, where he laughs so hard that the saliva melts. So it took me a while to figure out why all the paint was coming off. I was like, oh, because he's spewing it.
Yeah.
I feel like that was fairly obvious. But,
Okay. Oh, sorry that I
because
fucking.
like they said, like they put multiple shots on like spit coming out of his mouth.
I'm sorry that when I was a child, I didn't understand every joke this show was trying to do.
Well, that's
Maybe
Anyways,
Taylor
what
lived
inter-
next to one of those toxic waste dumps.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Anyways, it's a good episode.
Not
Very good
yet.
episode. But yeah.
So, Imitation Krabs.
Yeah, this was one that ran a lot when I was a kid, and I think it ran so much more often than a lot of other episodes. It became my favorite of all time. And just conceptually, the concept of Plankton piloting a Krabs mech and trying to trying to get the formula that way, and also every single way of it failing from just trying to get out of SpongeBob. So many amazing, intricate, ridiculous gag logic things happen in this episode, and I have always laughed extremely hard at it. I think everybody knows it for the ravioli bit, but it's so much more than that. The fact that that's the end of a gag that starts with him getting into a cannon, being fired out of a cannon, then having an entire plate of spaghetti and meatballs and saying, "Yum yum, this is delicious."
Is that the one? Is that the part everyone remembers? Is that like this is what we think of when we think of Imitation Krabs?
Yes.
Honestly, for me, yes.
What else do you think of?
Well, I mean, I wasn't thinking of something else specifically in mind. I guess it just comes from the perspective of, oh, okay, that's the one thing. But if you're putting me on a basket, the head enhancement clinic.
Oh, yeah.
That's also a great gag. I loved how bizarre that was. I always forgot about that one.
I'm gonna give you a better. I'm gonna give you a better answer. It's when Plankton is the other. It's before he imitates Krabs, and he says, "What is the Krabby Patty formula?" And SpongeBob lists the formula bylaws. Mm-hmm. The Krabby Patty formula is not the sole property of the creator, Mr. Krabs. Results may vary. The thing you said, Jordan, about the cannon and like the spaghetti, I feel like the whole episode should have been devoted to those rituals. Those like, okay, so Robo Krabs has to go through all of these rituals just to get to the formula, but I don't feel like they did enough with that. Like we have the cannon and the spaghetti and the balancing of the glass of chocolate milk while reciting the national anthem. I feel like it took a long time to start that, and then by the time we get there, the episode's already almost over. Hey, look, to be fair, we end with a really good take on the "I don't know who to shoot" joke. Which,
yeah, I love that. I love that we had time for that.
But it's so rigged. Like, he was totally always going to shoot the real Mr. Krabs. He totally fell in love with Robo Krabs. He didn't want the other one to be true.
And I think that's funny. I think that I'm glad that we don't like have to say that too much and just like, okay, well, he's clearly not going to win.
I mean, who knows? They might both be robots.
The part of that I find so funny is that Plankton knows more about Mr. Krabs' restaurant than the actual owner of the restaurant.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
He's trying to break into the place.
I know, but that's what I find so funny.
I don't believe that Krabs would ever charge 99 cents for a Krabby Patty on any day. That
to be fair, it was the 2000s.
Yeah.
Also, because we've gotten to the end of the episode, I just want to say one of the other just best jokes of the episode is when they're talking about the Krusty Krab at the very beginning and like talking about it this serene, peaceful place, and then SpongeBob comes out. Look, Mr. Krabs, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
And this is my favorite Plankton ouches as well, like the ouches that were underneath, like not only just regular ouch, but just automated Plankton ouch.
Yeah, this might be the introduction of I went to college. Actually,
I went to college.
Probably.
I guess ultimately this is a silly episode, but so is all of SpongeBob. And there's another robot episode on this bracket that I might like a little more.
Okay, and that's fair.
Same,
but
honestly.
this is just close to.
I didn't realize it was on the bracket. Oh shit!
Yeah,
okay.
they both got on there.
This is my lab. And this is my laboratory.
That I did not get that joke as a kid either.
Such a good joke.
All right. So starting, we're got to choose a voting order. So I'm going to start with Christian.
There are some SpongeBob episodes I feel like that just felt more comfortable to me, and I can't really explain exactly why. Like, I would see certain title cards, and I would just get, like... There are some title cards where I'd be like, I guess it's this one. And some title cards where it's like, oh, crap, it's this one. But I wouldn't even remember what's in the episodes. For some reason, Wet Painters is a very comfortable episode to me, and I do think it is because it just goes from joke to joke to joke, and it's a very satisfying episode to watch with all the paint and the ridiculous wall settings. So I'm going to give it to Wet Painters on this one.
Score one for the boys.
Taylor?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Christian. When I saw certain episode titles, I definitely immediately reacted a certain way, and I'm not sure I ever got thrilled about about seeing Imitation Krabs show up. Whereas Wet Painters, I always knew I was in for a good time. You messed up my dollar.
Drama.
I'm gonna vote for Wet Painters.
Every doll in this doll. Yeah. Sorry, no, I can't.
No. Finish the joke. I love that line.
No. Jordan?
Okay. This is very tough for me because I like both of these a lot. It's the kind of thing where, like, Wet Painters is the better episode, but it's probably going to win anyway, so I'm going to vote for Imitation Krabs because I put it up. But I love both of these equally. I wanted to vouch for Imitation Krabs because it means a lot to me, and it made me laugh a lot as a kid. So, yeah.
Marc?
So, I think if another certain crab-based episode wasn't on this bracket, I would give it to Imitation Krabs. But
Yeah.
that's not my favorite Krabs Robot episode. But When Painters is a classic,
Weird that happened twice.
classic SpongeBob and Patrick outing that is, like you said, Christian, it is a comfort one. It's one where you can just lay back. This is great comedy. I'm going to enjoy it. The character work is great. Just an all-around fun episode.
If I had a nickel for every episode where Mr. Krabs is or is not a robot, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's second choice. Vinny.
I'm gonna go with Wet Painters.
Yeah. Okay.
As opposed to dry ones.
Right?
Dry painters. They're just very
Yeah, they have
serious.
that. It's called drywall.
That was a bad SpongeBob episode.
What are you talking about? That was the best one.
All right, so next up, in not round 2, but whatever we call this, we have The Algae's Always Greener, which is a Christian pick, versus Band Geeks, which is, hang on, who has Band
The
Geeks
world
now?
put up Band Geeks.
Jordan. It's a Jordan pick.
I did,
guess.
but I had to battle for custody of it.
Yeah.
I also put it up. Yeah.
I also put it up.
I put it
I didn't bother putting it up.
Can I actually go? Can I actually go first for Band Geeks or for this?
Yeah. Thing.
All right. So I don't know if I'm the only person in here who this applies to, but in high school I was in marching band.
Of course you were.
I played bass drum. It was great because they gave me the heaviest one. I looked like a big letter P. I'll include a photo of myself with the bass drum on. It'll be great.
I'm now
I'm glad
envisioning
you
Jordan
enjoyed
as
that
a
one.
letter P from this one.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But yeah, and being in those sort of marching band environments and going through the whole band camp thing, people liked to reference this episode. And I already really enjoyed this episode, but it wasn't until my marching band years that I was like, oh yeah, this is peak. Because it is peak. This episode is basically back to oh my god, amazing gags.
That's a lot of backs.
Yeah, a billion backs. Pretty much every gag in this cartoon works, and they all weigh wonderfully off each other, culminating in one of the greatest climaxes in cartoon history. Y'all probably have more to say about it. I just wanted to get my bit out of the way.
Band Geeks is probably I think it is the highest percentage of an episode that I can just quote right off the bat. Probably at least 80% of the episode I can.
The only episode, other than Band Geeks, there's only one other episode that I think I could recite by heart. And the other one doesn't count because it's the first episode, which has one line of subtitled dialogue. You.
Wait, employ the first,
Leaf
the pilot?
Leaf blower.
Oh, okay. Well, so what I like about this episode is that it's one that really unites Bikini Bottom as a character in and of itself. So, everyone that you know from the show is here. SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Krabs, Plankton, Larry, Pearl,
Mrs. Puff,
Fred. Every semi-regular character is here. I guess except for Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Yeah, Squilliam.
The guy that says big meaty claws.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like Squidward has to be this guy to lead everyone. Squidward, the guy who hates everyone, to lead these group in unity and just watch them all fail miserably. And
Squidward was always there for us when it was convenient for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Back then he leads 2 people to their death.
Yeah. And then and Jordan said, every day is a new gag. So day 1 is mayonnaise an instrument, and then too bad that didn't kill me. And then the fucking best line of the day, when Sandy decapitates Patrick, severs his head to a torso with a trumpet, and then Patrick comes in, sits down, and then to let the sound of the trumpet out, he lets his open mouth lick the sound, and just the way his mouth looks as he's going
I love that joke. My favorite bit is not him sitting down with the trombone bit. My favorite bit is the understated way it begins. Whoever is the owner of the white sedan, you left your lights on.
Just his face sticking out of the doorway.
That might be my favorite sequence in the entire show, if not only followed by the next bit. If it is not the twirling sticks bit.
Exactly. Then we got flag twirlers, where, as Vinny said, Squidward marches two men to their death, and they're so good. They're good as a band for one moment to fucking play them out.
It's the moment after that is probably one of my actually might be my favorite.
Plankton is playing a harmonica.
You like Plankton solo?
I keep forgetting the because it's not the Plankton one. Actually, keep going. Sorry.
Because Plankton solo is the only gag I'm not crazy about. I think it goes on a little too long. I think it's a cute idea, but but
so small.
I don't know. It's the only gag that doesn't work for me.
The gag after that one.
What where people play loud when they want to sound good?
People talk loud when they want to act smart.
Correct.
That entire scene, the comedic timing, because you know what the joke is as soon as Squidward says talking loud. You know what the joke's gonna be. The countdown makes it so much better, and the payoff is just seeing Squidward's just deformed expression. Like,
maybe we can play so quietly no one in the room can hear us.
It is probably my favorite SpongeBob.
I have a funny trivia about that. So originally with Band Geeks, the writers were like, okay, for the bad music, we'll just put in like bad marching band music, and they did, and they're like, this is, and no offense to you, Jordan, but they're like, this is too bad. Like, it's like too bad. Okay, so they went back and got their musician to just purposely play bad for the instruments. But I just love that idea.
Did they play in Adios a los Beatles?
Yeah.
It was a deleted scene, unfortunately.
I swear to God, if we get copyright struck for that, I'm going home.
Oh, we should.
I'm gonna be mad.
Well, you'll be home by the time it happens. And then, so when we get to Sweet Victory, I don't think any moment as a child hit me as hard as this song did. And it was the juxtaposition of, this is not how SpongeBob sounds. This is so melancholy. This is so relaxing and deep and subversive. And I even had like my babysitter explain to me, he's like, oh no, that's not SpongeBob. They got another guy to do it. I'm like, they can do that?
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best displays. It's one of the best displays.
I'll ask again.
SpongeBob.
Did you grow up next to a toxic waste dump?
Listen, I lived at the bottom of a hill. You do the math.
Oh no.
And then, as Marc said when we did Nickelodeon, this is a Squidward wins episode. So the final frame is Squidward cheering in the air. He's won. He's accomplished his dream. It doesn't matter what we do next week. For this moment, SpongeBob's over. It's just
it's like the one Simpsons episode where Homer and Flanders end as friends.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy to see. Oh yeah, and live action Bubble Bowl is funny. So yeah, this episode works in just so many layers in terms of being funny, moving, and like just different from the norm.
There's that one line where it's like, why are these fish so ugly?
Maybe we're near one of those toxic waste dumps.
Oh, okay, you were setting him up for that. I'm sorry.
Want to know what like the best part about Band Geeks too during that whole thing is the amount of people that made music videos with that in mind, dubbing over like actual songs.
Oh, yeah. Or the fucking fact that when they got the band to perform during the Super Bowl and then did not play Sweet Victory,
that was awful. I was there for that.
Everyone, yeah.
What's the point?
So yeah, Band Geeks is special. All right, so now we have to try and talk about the Algae's Always Green like it's the same level of quality.
Well, here's what I'll say about the Algae's Always Greener. Plankton is easily my favorite SpongeBob character, and I don't think that's an unpopular opinion.
I don't hear it as often as you think.
I don't think there's any character you could say is your favorite SpongeBob character, and people would say that's an awful take.
Larry the Lobster. He's
guy from
fine.
Pickles.
He's not bad.
But when his heart gave out from all those tanning pills, who revived him?
Some guy.
Got it.
No, we can't go back to Band Geeks.
So we do
Dude,
have
it's
to.
like
we
the
do have to
death
talk about
race
the
of
other
SpongeBob
episode.
episodes.
We do have to talk about the other one.
Plankton is my favorite SpongeBob character, and I think that some of the best SpongeBob episodes are when you take Plankton and put him in silly situations.
Like the harmonica solo from Band Geeks.
Or the robot in Imitation Krabs. Yeah, exactly.
Some guy in an ambulance.
So having this episode, trying to put Plankton in silly situations can sometimes be tricky because you have to abide by the laws of SpongeBob, which barely exist, yet somehow are present enough to at least form some regular structure of logic. But by having this episode be an alternate universe episode, every single rule of the show can essentially be flipped on its head and allow for this situations you would never possibly see, with Plankton basically taking over the role of Mr. Krabs and teaching an important lesson of, this shit ain't easy, I guess. You know?
It's an example where Plankton actually is the proper protagonist, and we're actually meant to sympathize with him.
His freakouts are so funny. I mean, look, everyone say it with me. Do you think this is funny?
Cosmic sort of
In
way.
a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Well, is this how you get your sick kicks? Not
It's just an ordinary.
Oh my goodness!
I still don't get why you're all so crazy about that line. Like, it's funny, but like,
It's just the way it's delivered.
It's not just
personally for me.
Mr. Lawrence
It's
is the
very
MVP of SpongeBob. I'm saying it right now. That man's run the show for 25 years. He still yells like crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
He still sounds great.
I will say though, for as much as I like that part of it, my favorite part is when everybody just says that Mr. Krabs is like naked and whatnot.
Good
Naked. Exactly.
Because the thing is, that's always relevant. Like that, the thing is, that's an interesting one for. I always found that one interesting because it's like that's true about Plankton, but it's never brought up because Plankton's so small. But
Exactly.
yeah, it makes sense that at the size of Mr. Krabs, it's actually worth mentioning.
but I think the weird
great.
part is like when we tackle Plankton, it's like we just need to get him out of here. When we tackle Krabs, it's we need to put clothes on him, and we win.
See, this is the surreal edge.
See, that's
to
what I
it,
love
you know?
about it, just the absurdism of it all. And again, like I said, for this episode in particular, Plankton's like delivery and whatnot, and like the person that plays Plankton in this episode,
Mr. Lawrence.
For me, for me, he just makes it. He makes this episode so good. In my opinion.
Yeah, no. To be honest, it's everyone else that like doesn't work as well for me in this one. Just from the sense of like, there are episodes where people annoy the shit out of other characters, and it works really well. But to some degree, I almost just wish Plankton got a moment alone with those Krabby Patties because, like, SpongeBob.
But then there would be no more Roadrunner.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when we get to the point where Pearl comes in looking for an allowance, I'm like, all right, we can. I don't know. SpongeBob
Well, I
fucking,
like
but SpongeBob fucking explodes in this episode. What am I talking about? You're on
Oh,
register
yeah.
duty.
Overworking the register too.
Holographic meatloaf.
My
Favorite.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The way he did that chopping made it sound really tasty.
Did you guys know that this episode had a deleted scene where Plankton tries to break into the Krusty Krab and he sees a bucket of water at the top of the door?
Oh my god.
But when he opens the door, it turns out it's gasoline.
And you know who revives him?
Some guy in an ambulance.
Some guy in an ambulance.
Okay.
And then Jason Statham. No,
Wait.
sorry, I keep crossing the streams.
Don't cross the streams. We're gonna get in trouble.
With who?
Some guy in an ambulance.
Anyway, what are we voting for?
So, I guess we'll start with Christian.
Goodbye, everyone. I'll remember you all in therapy.
Oh,
I think that's a sign.
Oh, he went to
Oh,
therapy.
shit.
Wow, they charge way too much money for too little time.
I'm voting for Band Geeks.
Taylor.
Oh, really? Okay.
I love Algae's Always Greener, but Band Geeks is peak.
If we can get this yearly to 500 likes, Christian can go to therapy full time.
Jordan.
I mean Taylor.
Yeah, Algae's Always Greener. There's fun to be had. Band Geeks is Band Geeks, and more doesn't need to be said. So I'll just vote for it.
Me, right?
All right, Jordan.
Yeah, it's Band Geeks. This is probably, and I know this is the reason why we're doing this. This is probably one of the best things this crew came out with, and doesn't really let me down in any second of it.
I thought you meant this group is voting for Band Geeks. This group knows what it's all about. I thought that's what.
I mean,
Man, this bracket's so self-masturbatory.
Yeah,
We're ranking
Jordan,
episodes we made.
Man, how great are we?
Bang, remember this in 2003?
He was shaped like a pea.
Yeah.
Mark.
Okay.
Vote.
Okay. Okay. I respect the Audi's Always Greener. I really do like the $1. You hate me. I say that all the time. However, as a kid, I had a Video Now player from Tiger Electronics. It came with a Nickelodeon sample disc, and you know what SpongeBob episode was on that shitty thing? Band Geeks. So
Band Geeks.
The fucking one where SpongeBob does a bunch of walk cycles.
Leaf blowers.
Oh.
No. Well, actually,
That was the last episode.
okay.
That was a bunch of walk
Anyway,
cycles.
That's the episode that I've saw the most times on shitty black and white quality, and I still loved it. So I'm giving it to Band Geeks.
Oh, you got a video now without color?
Vinny.
Poor child. Anyways.
Hey, SpongeBob, my name's Pat Beck, and I'm gonna
Oh, fuck me!
What's up?
Sorry. I just realized. I was.
Damn.
What happened?
Give me a second.
Oh.
I was in the wrong server.
That's great. That's
I was
awesome.
wondering, Mick's not keeping track of time this time around. He's slacking. Holy fuck, dude.
Forget Mick kills Jordan and gets away with it. Jordan kills Mick.
You're in
Shout out to
gaming
Ignite
Discord
for
servers
with
when-
it.
Oh
Well-
my god.
At least at least we understand now. It's okay. Mick, I've done this before. Don't worry. Right now, I'm croaking.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Make sure
Yeah.
you don't tell them anything.
I won't.
Leave them in suspense.
Band Geeks. Band Geeks for me, Mick.
Rock reconnaissance.
All right.
Mick was too distracted by a man falling down the stairs.
I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that episode. That's gonna be great to watch myself. All right. Yeah. So Band Geeks wins, right? 4-1.
Safe to say. The Algae's not greener.
No, I think Band Geeks was a raw 5-0. Well, actually, Mick, Vinny, did you actually vote?
Yeah, he
No,
voted.
I did. I said Band Geeks. I was gonna vote with Pat back, but Mick realized he was in the wrong chat.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
So next time, where you have to go backwards now.
Okay, guys, my friend,
The dark side of
my friend Matt has updated it to now 24.
Damn, this round's going really long.
Are they doing it in intervals of 4?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
I'll check that back and let you know. No, they're not.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we got chocolate with nuts, which is a
You got this.
Christian pick.
Clanky.
It is not.
Fuck.
Wait, what?
Wait, who has the? Oh, it's you, Taylor.
It was me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, chocolate with nuts is a Taylor pick, and the camping episode, which is a it's gonna be a Christian pick.
But can I go first?
Sure.
Never.
All right. So, immediately, This episode starts with one of the funniest gags of all time, with SpongeBob surprising the mailman. How he got into that mailbox, I don't know, but how he just bursts out, "Hi, mailman!" And the episode does not let up there. All right, all the mail is for Gary. That's silly. The magic of this episode is all the running gags that are happening in the background. The boys are consistently getting conned by another salesman with candy bar bags, candy bar bags for their candy bar bags. Chocolate Man is a looming threat that is stalking them throughout the episode. And I don't need to tell you how fucking great Chocolate Man is. Chocolate!
I love the Charger from Left 4 Dead 2. Crazy.
And you know what? To the point of we were talking about wet painters and how when it's SpongeBob and Patrick and they work together, one of them has to be tougher than the other. And so this is one of my favorite Patrick episodes. SpongeBob has to mostly keep it serious. So we leave Patrick with ample opportunities to dope it up. So we have him, like when SpongeBob's opening the candy bar bags, Patrick's just zipping his underwear up and down. When they're in the diner and they're like, "We're not doing so well, Patrick. We need a new approach." And Patrick goes, "I got it. Let's get naked." And then also as a bonus line, SpongeBob goes, "Well, let's just wait till we're selling real estate for that."
I love that.
Then like Patrick's like, "I'm gonna go buy more candy bar bags." And SpongeBob goes, "Wait, Patrick!" And Patrick stops mid exiting of the door. Then we get fucking like Patrick flatter the customer, make him feel good. "Hello, I love you."
Slam.
And then finally, fucking focus Patrick, make it focus on the customer, and then he just fucking brings his eyes into the guy's room, focusing.
So funny.
Back off, Jack. Nice place you got here. So
this episode, if I may pipe in for a brief moment, this episode introduced one of my favorite voices that I like to do. I call it the Skringus voice. It comes from this episode though, because the Skringus voice goes a little bit like this.
I know. I think I might.
Yes.
Chocolate.
That's actually my next point is when the boys finally realize that lying is the way to go. We meet an old lady and her mother is just a vertebrae in a wheelchair. And child, this was weird, but as an adult, this is brilliant. What?
I was just thinking about that moment when I was at work a couple days ago, and I just couldn't stop laughing.
It's so funny.
And then the added gag work is that at the end of the episode, they take him out on dates.
It's nice.
It's like, yeah, no, but it's like they're like, we had to spend all the money. What do we spend it on? Oh, let's take out those two women we conned, and one of them who we told was going to live forever out to a nice fancy dinner.
That's sweet, though.
I mean, sure. But like when the payoff of the Chocolate Man comes in and he ends up being their biggest customer, Patrick poops out a singular Hershey's Kiss.
Beautiful.
Can we also talk about that one guy who's when the con man dresses up entirely in bandages? It's like every morning I break my arms, every night I break my legs.
It's the other way around, but yes.
That's me in real life now.
Christian, that's not you. I know a guy who literally, the fact that he's alive he is alive by sheer luck, the amount of shit that he goes through.
This is gonna get sad really fast.
I see. I retract my statement.
It's like, no, like, I know a guy who, like, literally is, and, like, it's kind of crazy, because he's like, oh, yeah, and that's when I had this, like, every single time I've seen him, he's had, like, a new injury.
Alright, I retract my statement.
It was wild. Anyway, yeah.
The point is, every joke that this episode does, it pulls off. This episode wastes no time getting started, and it ends perfectly. This is kind of a perfect episode. Like, in terms of gag work, I get more than Band Geeks. I'm not sure. It's tough.
It's close.
It's really
so
tough.
Close.
So, Chocolate with Nuts, fucking wonderful.
Incredible. It's another one where I can quote pretty much all of it if I wanted to.
No, let's save that for when we're selling real estate.
Exactly.
That scene where Patrick goes out the door and stops was someone used a song from the video game franchise Trauma Team and turned it into a very popular YouTube video back in the day. which perhaps I may send to Jordan when he is editing this to play.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're doing good. We're not even bringing up YouTube poops yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
but we'll get to it. We'll fucking get to it.
We will.
In fact, actually, round 7. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. We'll get to it. The camping episode. I'm gonna be honest. The first half of the camping episode is good, but I don't remember that much about it. It's more the setup phase.
You don't remember much about the sea bears?
That's the second half of the episode,
which is obviously the best part.
The middle part of the episode in this case is sort of like the transitionary period as to when the episode becomes good. The CMPFRESONG song.
Yes.
Song CMPFRESONG. It is. I am not a huge fan of musical numbers in anything that is not a musical. But this, I always love quoting the CMPFRESONG song. It's
iconic. I'll give you that. I don't love it to death, but I couldn't imagine the episode without it.
Exactly.
Also, saying it's like a musical number is a bit of a stretch, considering it only lasts like a combined total, I think, of 30 seconds.
I mean, that is true, but that's my favorite kind of musical number, is the short ones.
Back in private school, we had we would do a coffee house night. Where people would go in and like sing various songs. So one of my classmates got a bunch of people together and started doing the campfire song. And what was really funny was you get to the part where it's like, Patrick, Squidward, and so he would do that with the audience. So he would go like, school. And then he would go to me and be like, Taylor! And I didn't know what to do, so I didn't say anything. So he went, good!
Oh. See, you knew more than you thought.
Exactly.
What I will say is that I do believe that, in my opinion, and the reason why I ended up having this at the top of my honorable mentions, this episode is completely overshadowed and taken over by the sea bear. The sea bear is one of my favorite jokes in the whole show.
What a fun gag.
Well,
sea bears and fairy tales are real.
A circle.
Move over!
The physical comedy is so perfectly timed. Every single attack is just is at the exact right moment, as if they measured it with fucking protractors. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I guess he just doesn't like you.
I should have warned you about crawling. But like, I'm with you, Christian. The first half of the episode is like interesting. I mean, listen, the Squidward gets way too obsessed with what SpongeBob is doing. Episodes are like fantastic, but there are better examples. And like, I'm gonna be honest, all the stuff with the marshmallows, I do not like, because when they eat the marshmallows, it kind of looks like cum.
I mean,
well, none of us had thought to this point.
Taylor, do you enjoy just ruining people's lives?
You know, it varies.
I'm never gonna be able to have a marshmallow for at least 2 months.
Write that down.
But it's not just that. It's when Patrick is burning his marshmallow and spitting the residue on Squidward. I just think all the shit they do with the marshmallow is gross.
I put this episode on here because of the sea bears. I'm just gonna be real. I put it on here because of the sea bears, and I love the campfire song. Does anything else matter? Not really.
Okay, no.
Me.
There is one good joke I like. It's where Squidward is trying to show off his camping prowess and failing to put up the tent, and he's like, "Take notes." And Patrick is just playing tic-tac-toe.
I will say one of the parts.
Write that down.
One of the parts I really do like about the episode is when, funnily enough, it's a marshmallow bit. It's where Patrick and SpongeBob are literally just pretending to be astronauts. And they're just like, Patrick and SpongeBob, the deliciousness has landed.
That's whatever.
That's cute.
I really like the wholesome moments between SpongeBob and Patrick in SpongeBob, and that's definitely one that, like, because like they're friends, you know, like they're gonna do stupid shit like that, and it's fun.
Yeah. I also love how This might be the episode where Squidward like is the most responsible for what happens to him.
Oh my God, yeah.
He literally did every single possible thing to trigger the sea bear, and it's like it makes the sea bear scene funnier because he did every single possible thing to trigger the sea bear.
It's the best kind of cartoon consequences.
But he didn't earn the ire of the sea rhinoceros.
He
did.
wasn't
He
wearing his
attracted
sea right
the
now
flies.
underpants.
Well, I find so great, by the way, about Squidward in this is that the entire time he could have just gone home. They only camped like 2-3 feet out from the house, but like no.
Well, that's just what's great about the concept is they're camping in their backyard,
There-
and
There is
that's silly enough.
there is a constant joke on social media where whenever it's like the day that SpongeBob goes camping, it's like, remember guys, this is the day that SpongeBob goes camping.
I love how this is called the camping episode. Like, what a
He just
title.
has it marked on his calendar.
The camping.
All right.
And also, just one last thing before I imagine we're going to the vote, but the one gag it's something that I find funny because I'm deranged, is just the recurring bit as Squidward checks in on them at the beginning as he gets obsessed. There's just every time Squidward walks away and SpongeBob and Patrick are just in the tent looking at like the book or looking at some book and giggling. I don't know why that's so amusing to me, but just instead of like
I think the play on that joke
yeah.
is a bit handled better in an episode in our next round. But I get what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I like this version of it. You could also make a case that the Idiot Box is a more refined version of
Who's
this.
talking about
but
the Idiot
That is only if you wanted to.
Presumptuous. I was talking about the walk cycle episode.
All right. So, Christian.
If the camping episode, if the entire thing was as funny as the Sea Bears segment, it might rival Band Geeks for me. But I'm going to vote for Chocolate with Nuts because it is very consistent in its hilarity.
All right. Taylor?
Chocolate, hold the nuts.
All right, I'm gonna try. But it's gonna be painful.
Oh,
Vinny, do you enjoy ruining people's
fancy
lives?
living. Here we come. Fucking hell! I gotta start it again. I don't know what shenanigans you guys are doing.
The problem with adults talking about SpongeBob episodes.
I mean, there's adult humor in SpongeBob if you look for it.
Yeah. Fancy living, here we come.
La,
La la
la,
la
la,
la.
la,
And
la.
I cannot stress this enough. La. I'm voting for Choco Nuts.
Chocolate with
All right.
Nuts
Mark?
taught me how to be the salesman I am today, which is I just use my product and I barely sell it to anybody. I'm getting the chocolate with nuts.
And Vinny.
I'm gonna go with chocolate. Don't hold a nut.
Should we like do should we do like a SpongeBob theme for this one?
Yeah, no. Instead, we should do Pressure Point by Duncan Lamont.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Mermaid by Barnacle Boy could work. We've already
Listen,
proven that we won't get
What's
struck
really
for that.
great about it, if we do get copyright struck, Jordan could just use his dad to get the claim taken off.
My dad
It's not
works
the
for
weirdest thing
SpongeBob.
my dad's bailed me out on.
We'll do Joe Time Stories next week.
The Jailies.
I nominate Alcatraz.
San Quentin. Sing
Let's
Sing.
go Sing Sing.
Yes, let's go. Rikers Island.
Azkaban. Wait a minute.
Man, one day we got to do all of our horrible yearly ideas.
The horrible leads.
The Horleys.
Oh.
Taylor, do you
Oh.
enjoy ruining people's lives?
You already did me.
Taylor,
That's
two,
the slogan
Vinny,
of the
one,
Horleys. You already did, man.
everyone else 0.
I'm a more clever material.
Taylor, do you enjoy ruining other people's
Rude.
lives?
Just announce round 4. You prick.
No.
You're winning.
No.
Mick hasn't even killed me yet. Come on.
Yeah, Eddie's not going to. It was always a bluff.
No. No, it's not a bluff.
See, now, Taylor, you're actually ruining the surprise here.
Can you just announce round
Oi.
4, please, so I can talk about 2 more great episodes?
Someone else told me to start round 4.
Hey, Mick, do you want to start
Mick,
round
you just
4?
start
Sure,
round
round
5,
4.
actually.
Let's go.
I
Well, now I have to make the Taylor and Mick have gotten a divorce frog and toad asset.
We're never married.
How
You're
that
friends.
attitude.
Jordan, you should
Nick and
Photoshop
Taylor are platonic life partners.
I already announced round 4.
Okay.
Oh no, hang on. I actually didn't. I just said round 4.
Entire fucking thing.
All right, yeah. So we
We
got the idiot box, which is someone's pick, and then we have SpongeBob meets a Strangler, which is also someone's pick.
Yeah, the idiot box is your pick, man.
They were both mine, so he didn't want to.
Oh my god.
I am,
I'll take the idiot box.
but no, fine. Not like I'm gonna get to go.
8 million years in the idiot box.
So honestly, I just like this episode for the concept of just like, well, not so much the concept, but just like, as cheesy as it may sound, just like the power of imagination. Even if like at the end, it's like Squidward wasn't really using his imagination; it was just a lucky coincidence that all that stuff happened. But I do like how like it kind of like the moral of it is just, you know, you can do a lot with, you know, just formulating a concept in your head and like, you know, either acting it out or you know, just making the most of what you don't have or with so very little. But yeah, Patrick and SpongeBob do all these crazy things with just a box and their imagination. And I like that. And I also just like how it progressively drives Squidward nuts that he can't really imagine as well as SpongeBob or Patrick can.
Well, so it's like I was just saying how like we had the camping episode is a Squidward gets obsessed with what SpongeBob is doing, and this is a much better example of that because this is where he gets so psychologically obsessed to the point that he breaks kind of episode. So, you know, it just started with him wanting to take the TV, and then like as soon as SpongeBob and Patrick get started with the avalanche, and SpongeBob scream when they're dying in the avalanche.
SpongeBob, I can't move. My legs are frozen solid.
I can't help you, Patrick. I already cut off my own arms.
No!
This is probably
These two goofballs are the
This-
best.
probably Tom
that's just
Kenny and Bill Fingerbuckle's best performances as SpongeBob and Patrick. It's just them.
It's
Because-
lovely.
As
really
they're
improv.
doing their imagined
I also-
plots, it's just over the top, and they're allowed to be, and it's great.
I also just love that Squidward, like, as he tries to just watch TV and take his mind off of it, the TV is literally just about boxes.
He just can't stop panning through all the box-related television. And now back to championship boxing. I guess this
There's
is
a few
over.
boxes going at it.
Some people say puns are the lowest form of humor.
I say those people need to live more.
By the way, the gag work in the beginning is also great, where SpongeBob and Patrick are waiting, and Patrick goes, "I need to put on my glasses," and he takes 2 chunks of like glasses of water and puts them on his eyes, and you get the photorealistic eyes. And then,
Love it.
and then the package comes. And they just do this stupid dance at the beginning, where they just like dance
So
in
good.
place, and Squidward's like,
And
"I
now
don't
it's Happy Hopping Moron Day.
know, SpongeBob. When do we stop hopping? 30 more seconds, Patrick."
And again, like,
So good.
you know, again, it's them being goofballs together, but being friends. And I like that. I like it when SpongeBob and Patrick are just being friends together, and you just see all the wacky stuff that goes on between them.
My hottest take is that I don't think imagination is that funny. It's iconic, but I don't think it's that funny.
I mean, that's fair.
I agree.
That's fair.
It was definitely the source of a lot of late 2000s impact font meme images.
Well,
So,
yeah,
like,
I
there's
think
that.
that's why we all remember it. I mean,
But to give the episode a bit of flack, they do kind of run that joke in the ground, and
That's
that's
what
why
I'm-
Squidward literally just like shuffles the rainbow with his tentacles at that point.
yeah. I want to go to Robot Pirate Island. Yeah, it's a good. It's a stupid fun episode, and then like at the end where Squidward is driving the box, but not really driving the box, and
Yeah, it's a stupid fun episode with a nice moral at the end, I think.
I've always wanted an idiot box.
Well, you just got to order a gigantic TV, and you too can have an idiot box if you're very
Christian,
No, these TV
Yeah, I had
boxes
one
are
too.
too thin.
When you really think about it, this
Yeah.
Discord server we're in right now is kind of box shaped, so I'd say you're in one.
Yeah, there's a bunch of idiots in it, me included.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
We're
damn.
all
Did we
just
rename the year at least to the idiot box?
living in a world
We're damn
of
close.
squares. But for the record, Calvin and Hobbes does imaginary boxes better.
It does.
All right. So,
Definitely one of my favorite episodes.
SpongeBob Meets the Strangler is way too good for how late into the show we are at this point. As a deviation from the SpongeBob tortures Squidward episode, we get the opportunity to torture someone who absolutely deserves everything that comes his way.
Yes.
And we do this by playing it out like a Looney Tunes
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Bad guy tries to hunt the sponge, and Sponge obliviously tortures the bad guy in the process. So when he poses as the bodyguard, and after we fucking do a bunch of arbitrary chores that like drive him crazy, we get to the house and he loses the key. And he goes, Clint, I need you to climb on top of me. Sure, with these spiky cleats, anything is possible.
That joke is ingrained into my fucking brain.
It's also ingrained in the Strangler's brain too.
Yes, yeah, he's
The
not gonna
double-
his eyes, yeah.
The double whammy of that joke is not just that he is stabbing him violently in the eyes, but then they play a 6 hours later time card.
6 hours.
He's doing that for 6 hours. That joke is immediately followed up by not one, but 2 back-to-back surprise parties. And
Yes.
Goodbye, the rest.
you have the Strangler, who just defeatedly walks over to the chair and just slumps into it, just waiting for the party to end. And like, things are crazy when this is a universe in which Squidward is appreciative of SpongeBob's company, just in contrast to how terrible the Strangler must be. He comes to both parties, and like at the end when the Strangler can't handle it, he's like, I bought it at the party store, and Squidward goes, did someone say party? And so that ends with Strangler can't handle that screwy SpongeBob anymore. So he goes running and SpongeBob starts stalking him for protection. That ends with him in jail with Patrick to start the whole process over again.
It's a droopy cartoon.
I have not seen a lot of Droopy Dog.
Well, it's basically that.
Wasn't there a parody of Droopy Dog and Chowder? Where it was like a bird instead, like that owl
Probably.
episode.
Is that what that was? I hated that episode.
I think one of the best parts about this episode, though, too, is when Patrick convinces himself that he's the Strangler. He's like, "Oh, I should have known all along." Just runs.
Well, yeah, because the Strangler had to throw him off a trail.
Oh, but I love that. Patrick believes it.
I say that this episode really begins when the Strangler poses as the bodyguard. It takes a little while to get going, but once we get there, oh
It's
boy, this
full of
episode is
amazing
great.
gags. Yeah. No, I and what's great is that it's they were very good at rolling out Tom Wilson to just do really fun like bully roles in this era, and he knows exactly what this needs to be, and he's fantastic at all of the comeuppances that are thrown at him. Like you said perfectly, it's the Looney Tunes logic and the use of SpongeBob as a projectile onto this guy repeatedly is pretty perfect, and it's one I always forget about. But then I just remember, oh yeah, that exists. That's pretty amazing.
It's a fantastic episode.
Yeah.
Listen, kid, I'm not your bodyguard. I'm the Strangler. Love it.
So good.
So,
Okay.
start the vote. Christian.
I am an idiot, and I will vote for my box.
Taylor.
You are an idiot because you're not voting for SpongeBob Meets the Strangler. No, it's fine. I
No.
like Idiot Box a lot, but I am voting for SpongeBob Meets the Strangler.
How about you use your fucking imagination?
Christian, just imagine that Taylor voted for Idiot Box, okay?
You know what? I will.
Idiot Box, I think is a good episode. I wish it would have ended like a couple of beats sooner. Like if it had just ended on the garbage truck taking Squidward away, that would be perfect. But no, I really like the logic this one wields and how Squidward is just ultimately going to lose. Ultimately, though, I am giving it to the other one, SpongeBob Makes a Strangler, because it reaches comedy heights I often forget that SpongeBob was capable of.
Bee boo bop. Mark.
I'm giving it to SpongeBob Meets the Strangler, simply because, as Taylor said, and I don't know if he listened to the episode where we discussed this, but we were covering on That's Not Good Old Folks a Looney Tunes short where like halfway through recovering it, I was like, "This is SpongeBob Meets the Strangler." Like, what this go? It's a Strangler. Like, oh my god, that's incredible that this 70-year-old cartoon has influence in a 2000s cartoon, which is crazy. So, yeah, and SpongeBob Meets the Strangler.
Yes.
Cannot believe you bought
And
ad
Vinny.
time to plug. That's not quite all, folks, during our yearly spin.
Why not?
I really like using my imagination, but I also like SpongeBob meeting the Strangler, so I'm gonna vote for that.
I like using my imagination, but strangling. That's
Strangling is
That's,
That's my
The
take.
Strangler, I gotta admit, the Strangler never actually strangles anyone. And like, let's
He comes
assume
very
for a moment-
close.
No,
He
but
comes very close.
let's assume that he did get to strangle SpongeBob. Would SpongeBob even feel it?
Yes,
I'd say no.
I think so. He would.
I mean, think about this. The other Tom Wilson bully didn't get very far. What makes you think the Strangler is going to be more effective?
Because that's
He's-
punching. That's punching.
SpongeBob has literally been turned into cubes before. He can recover from anything.
I mean, SpongeBob has no neck.
But at
He's
the
a
same time, the Strangler could twist him. And twisting a sponge, I can't imagine, is very pleasant.
So anyway, next round. Round 5. We've got No Weenies Allowed, which is somebody's pick.
It's Vinny's. You're not going to find it because he didn't change his entries.
I think my heart's gone out of this series.
All right, and then finally, As Seen on TV, which is a Mark pick.
No, Vinny, you need to take SpongeBob Meets the Strangler off yours and put No Weenies Allowed on.
The lid.
The lid.
All right, Vinny.
The
Every
lid.
year you do.
9 million years in the idiot box.
You are going to rock bottom. So, who wants to start?
Uber.
Mark, I don't think
I'm
you've
not-
gone first
no,
yet.
'cause
No.
this is my first entry. That's list. So As Seen on TV, it's a story of one's overly confidence in how small of a role you get in the public limelight, and I love how this episode begins with Mr. Krabs going, "Yeah, we're doing this TV special. I gave it the screw word because he's artsy." Cut to film studio set. Cameras. There's a clown that they keep, which is hilarious.
Job gets very stressful, Mr. Krabs.
Which, if you look at film history, that's not too inaccurate. That actually does happen on films.
I was just gonna, before we move on from the next scene, I think my favorite joke that I completely glazed over as a kid is when Krabs is going, "Why do we need 2 Krusty Krabs?" And Squidward goes, "Mr. Krabs, everyone needs an understudy." And Krabs goes, "Well, you got me there," as he points to another Mr. Krabs.
This here's
Okay,
me
that's
flesh
a good one.
homunculus. We keep him in a constant state of euphoria so he doesn't murder me customers.
I'm sorry, but was someone talking about Superman?
No!
No,
No! The Superman
No.
Lees is in the other room.
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
No problem.
Alright?
I'll be by what you're looking for.
What I love about Mark gag is it implies that we're in like some like old style studio complex. You know, in like an old Hollywood studio complex where like we're shooting like several different movies at once.
Well,
like,
the
no, no.
dancing Hitlers go over to set this. The singing Hitlers are on stage here. It's a producer's
Right,
reference.
alright,
I know.
So, what is great about this episode is that SpongeBob gets his commercial at like 2:30 in the morning, and he's barely in it. And what's really funny about this episode is that it's a type of SpongeBob performance, both from Tom Kenny and how he's written, of like super cocky, kind of not nice SpongeBob, Like, he's so vain about being on TV for literally 5 seconds. Just the bran flakes customer and the
What a nice cereal box.
and just the guy's like, oh hi SpongeBob. The dad's like, oh my god, you know my name. And what I realized during this watch of I See It on TV is this is the best showcase for the fish folk of Bikini Bottom. The fish folk in Krusty Krab don't get a lot of attention. They're not really a focus point. But that every single fish in this episode has a great line of just being pissed off at SpongeBob and wanting their food. Yes, there's the class now. That's what we've been waiting for. It's wanted all along.
It's what we've wanted all along.
The fucking dotted lines when the patty lands on the stove.
Just SpongeBob going to Mr. Krabs and throwing in a bunch of hipster lingo about quitting the Krusty Krab, and then just cover Mr. Krabs. Its eyes are bulging like boys, like on your head. Like, what the hell are you talking? But
I mean, Mark, can I be perfectly honest
Sure.
about this episode? Like, I honestly, I rewatched this for this, and this would have been a lot better if it just focused on the filming and the airing of the ad, in my opinion.
I'm
Like,
with you,
once
Jordan.
it becomes a whole withheld information thing with SpongeBob Ego, it kind of loses me. I have no idea how SpongeBob becomes that unaware, that far gone, and we're just sort of watching going, yeah, all right, we're on this ride now. You know, it doesn't, and again, there are a lot of good things about this episode, but like, it lost me, sad to say.
No, I'm with you, Jordan. I don't think the SpongeBob "Let's start him" go to his head bit is very funny. I don't think his misinterpretations are very funny. I don't even really like Striped Sweater. I know that might not be a popular opinion.
Same.
But what
But,
about one with a turtleneck?
That's
Yeah.
fine.
I did.
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess the ending is
I
fitting.
did like him talk to his friend, just like, eating here was your idea. Like, how dare
I don't know. I guess I don't really see that as jokes and just people getting really like frustrated, and not in like a funny "let's torture them" way. Just in a
Well, the
SpongeBob
audience
is not-
laughs at it, Taylor, so I think maybe it might be classified as a joke.
I didn't.
Okay.
Can we talk about how Mr. Krabs just has a pet snake for this episode?
no.
We gotta set up the conflict, yeah.
What?
No, it's basically, we have to get Krabs away from the Krusty Krab for a moment. So, all right, he's walking his snake.
Worm.
Yeah, but then we never see the snake again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I said all I wanted to say
Well,
about
I
it.
think
So.
the one more thing I will say about it, the commercial is the best part. I will admit that. The whole cheap way of doing it, the reaction image of shocked Mr. Krabs has been used plentiful. It's the airing.
What's your problem, Amy?
What was I going to say? Mark,
Oh.
to add on to that real quick too, I definitely dig the commercial only because also because of that. Despite Mr. Krabs being in charge of it, it doesn't really feel cheaply made. Like in certain areas, yes, but like overall though, it feels like an actual decent commercial in the show.
But that is the thing. You don't want to have like a cheaply made ad, because then you won't get people to come into your restaurant.
But it's also Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, no. I know that, but Mr. Krabs wants money. If he makes a shitty ad, people aren't going to come to his restaurant.
I mean,
You'd be
in the
surprised.
movie, he literally charges $10 for a Krabby Patty.
How
Yes.
the fuck is KFC still in business?
Exactly.
But it's interesting to see from a character like him make it like a decent commercial, like when he puts his mind to it.
The Krusty Krab, come spend your money here.
Look, the Krusty Krab can't be as. Mr. Krabs has to be a good businessman. He can't just be greedy. Otherwise, it won't be better than the Chum Bucket.
Yeah.
That's what seasons 4 through whatever are for.
Arguing the business politics of the Krusty Krab is its own conversation,
Yeah,
quite frankly.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Let's see how it pays off in round 7.
Oh no!
All right, yeah,
But we're still on round
that's
5.
all I gotta say
So-
about it. Tell you, let's see another episode.
Just a simple gag. You can't get into a club. Hilarity ensues.
I'll have you know that we put As Seen on TV on the SpongeBob SquarePants Showlies, and we only talked about it for 8 minutes.
Would you care for another Sunday, Weenie?
We haven't really. There's not a lot of Sandy representation on this bracket.
There isn't.
and that's not like for any special reason. It's just kind of sorted out that way. But Sandy has a Sandyism at the beginning of this episode where she goes, "SpongeBob's jumpier than a rattlesnake in a pickle barrel," but then immediately goes, "Wait, what?" Like she's caught off guard by her own Southern line, and it really got to me.
Yeah, that's great.
Way to go, buddy. It took 3 days to make that potato salad.
3 days!
I didn't even know what potato
Okay.
salad was at
I
that
didn't
point.
know that's where the moment came from. For the longest time, when I was hyping up myself or my friends on social media for like a month or something, I made Deadpool's coming out in 3 days. 3 days! It's just the image of SpongeBob with a potato salad. For years,
Yeah.
I made this impact gif, and it was funny for me only.
Well, no, 3 days is a great line. And then, then the episode starts, and it's a montage of SpongeBob trying to get into the salty spittoon with Thomas Wilson as the guard. And, some of the gags, like posing as a man's tattoo, worked really, really well. I mean, the best one is obviously when SpongeBob dresses up in a wig.
Yes.
But first, it's like not SpongeBob, and they like take his head off, and then you see SpongeBob in a clown wig. That's great.
Patrick beating himself up is classic.
I mean, holy shit, that bit is so funny. You beat up that guy without even touching him.
You destroyed that guy without even touching him.
No, he did touch him. SpongeBob just has a stand. Unfortunately, the bodyguard doesn't have a stand, so he can't see him.
Oh,
Loop-de-loop and the pole.
I always had this imagination in my head where SpongeBob gets into the club, and then every time he needs to come, because you know how like when people come into the club and Reg recognizes them, he's like, "Oh, here we go. Now it's a party. It's this guy who can do this thing." I always like to imagine that when SpongeBob comes back to the club the next day, it's like, "Oh, hey, it's SpongeBob. SpongeBob, do that thing," and then like he just starts beating Reg up without talking to him. It's like, "Yeah, go on." Yeah, I mean this is a good one.
This episode probably has my favorite ending on this entire bracket.
such a great episode.
Weenie Hut General.
It's just such a perfect rule
Slips
of
on ice
3.
creams.
The second one being Super Weenie Hut Juniors.
Super Weenie Hut.
Yeah, he doesn't go to that one.
Make a Monster Weenie Monday, or make a Weenie Monday.
Oh, so it's Monster Weenie Monday? Yeah. I guess I'm not a fan of that scene where SpongeBob gets into a tangle with 2 other guys. I mean, there were just a couple of gags that I didn't like as much, but like...
Okay, hang on, guys. Important question.
Yes.
Do you consider shaved a haircut?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Me
cut
too.
hair in order to achieve it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a haircut.
2 bits.
Just need to make sure that we're all on the same page with that one.
Why? Who is it?
That guy at the other guy at Weenie Hut Juniors.
Oh yeah. Forgot about
That guy wasn't bald. He had a shaved head.
That is a haircut. Honestly, though, like my favorite character in that episode is the robot.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
how come you
sir.
don't help us with our problems? I am a robot, not a miracle worker.
Yeah. I think he shows up as a point-and-click character in one of the computer games.
Of course he does.
Oh, dog! If we were talking about
He also makes a cameo in Battle for Bikini Bottom.
So, new voting order. Vinny, you go first.
I'm gonna go for no weenies allowed.
Mark?
Thanks,
Cool.
Mark's the spot.
All right, I am voting for no Weenies allowed because I gotta admit, it is a better SpongeBob episode than SCNR on TV. SCNR on TV has a great beginning, but then I can see how SpongeBob's arrogance could come off as incredibly annoying for 6 and 7 more minutes.
Yes.
So I do understand from that perspective. So I will give it to No Weenies Allowed. Also, No Weenies Allowed has a funnier ending than SCNR on TV.
Yes, it does.
I can't even remember how on CMTV.
Like, SpongeBob just, like, through pure ego, I guess, accidentally gets himself back into fry cooking. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think I quit fry cooking for this, and he's back at the fry cook. I don't know. Also, it is very weird. It is very weird because, like, SpongeBob loving being a fry cook is a part of his personality, and I think they would do better episodes about his loyalty as a fry cook in more episodes. So
yeah.
Did you say fry cook?
No, that was him in Algae's Always Greener.
Soiled it. Exactly.
Soiled it.
All right. Me, right?
Yeah.
No, I thought he changed the order.
Yep.
He did,
Jordan,
but he did it backwards, so I'm still 3.
Oh, I do this. I have the whenever I'm hosting, I have the same strategy. I first go down the list, then I go back up the list. You could probably, if you go back and watch another episode I host, you can figure out my pattern pretty easily.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
Can you figure out Mick's pattern? Let us know in the comments.
I was really worried I'd be falling out with Mark over the SC and on TV thing, but I'm glad to know that, like, I was expecting, like, for this to be really contentious. Like, all right, I can see why you think that. Great, amazing. I'm voting for No Weenies Allowed. It's a funnier episode.
Okay, Taylor.
The best time to vote for as seen on TV is never. No Weenies Allowed.
Oh, Weenies allowed. Why the fuck am I here?
Savage.
Ouch.
We're gonna have like a record for 5-0s in this episode.
I still think we should play. We're either playing either the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy theme or Pressure Point by Duncan LaPlante.
Can you tell me how that one goes?
You'll recognize this
People
song.
who beep.
This is the one that plays. First, you must acquire a taste for freeform jazz.
Freeform jazz.
That's that song.
Oh, I might have to do that one.
I still don't remember it.
I can't do it because it's a freeform jazz song. You can't expect me to hum the melody to a freeform jazz song.
I assumed there's a bass line to follow with, but
it's jazz. It's freeform jazz. I can't do it. I posted it in the music channel.
That's not fair. I never
You a fucking acapella band?
I like that from Mick. It's like, it's jazz.
So.
I'm listening to it now. I might go for Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
So next up, also I'm pretty sure this song's copyrighted. Anyway, Anyway, next up, round 6, we have Nasty Patty, which is
awfully southern.
Mick dies.
And Can You Spare a Dime, which is
me.
Don't tell me.
Whoops.
Here, maybe he can guess now.
It's Christian pick.
Oh.
No, it's funny, Mick. It sounded like you were eating the Nasty Patty when you read that off.
Yeah, so can I go first?
Of course.
Yes. All right. So, usually, the person who is hosting is a person who has... The kind of people we usually choose to host is someone who has no particular horse in the race. I wanted to host because I have too many horses in the race, and I couldn't... There was no way I could decide between them. And even though I have the same love of making lists that like Christian does, I suck at ordering them. I'm really bad at saying I like this thing better than this thing, and so I knew that I would not be able to easily vote on SpongeBob episodes. So I decided I wanted to be the host. So when it came to choosing a wildcard pick, obviously it made my job even harder because there were so many different things I could choose. I wound up deciding to choose an episode which I don't think as a kid it was ever really one of my favorites. As an adult, it's probably one of my favorites though, and that's the Nasty Patty. And the reason I like this episode is because it is one of the darkest episodes of SpongeBob. Because the premise of this episode is Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob think they've killed a man and try to hide the body
from the cops.
Yeah. This is basically a Coen Brothers movie squeezed into 11 minutes.
Yes.
Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob intentionally attempt to, I mean, initially just to ruin a health inspector's day. Then they mistakenly think they've killed the health inspector. And so, immediately, we need to bury the body. It goes there very quickly. And turns out, the health inspector is just knocked out. But they don't know that, so they bury, they bury him in the dead of night.
Bury him alive.
They bury him in the dead of night. All right, but then the rains come and they wash him away, which they only notice once they're pulled over by the cops. And so they have to quickly, when they see the body, the police are like, "Come on, we'll give you a ride," and they have to think on their feet, and they quickly stuff the body into the back of the car.
That's the trunk.
In the trunk of the police car. And they get in, they get a ride back, and SpongeBob has to sneak the dead body into. I believe it's initially he tries to put it in the dumpster, right?
Yeah.
No, they try to bury it. They put it in the back of the trunk.
And then they try to put it in
the dumpster. Yeah.
Yeah, he tries to put it in the dumpster, but for some reason that doesn't work, and so they wind up putting him in the freezer.
Yeah.
And and this is the moment where suddenly Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob have to pretend like they haven't killed a man in front of the police. And the tension is palpable.
The dark deed you have requested is done, sir.
I've done
we
the
interrupt
dark
this can to bring you a special.
The added benefit to this entire time is that the inspector keeps trying to come to out of his unconscious state.
And then he keeps getting knocked out.
Yeah, and some gag keeps him unconscious.
I would have loved to have read the standards and practices notes for this episode. What do they have to add to be like if I had to guess, maybe he was just gonna be knocked out the entire time. Until standard practices were like, no, you have to show him he's alive. You just have to get him.
In which, can I say, if that is the case, standards and practices has significantly improved this episode by giving us more gags.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think what's also interesting is that the cops in this episode are very much like when Krabs finally breaks down and goes, "We did it! We killed the health inspector! Put him in the freezer!" And the cop just goes, "Oh, you mean in here?" Like they don't care yet.
My favorite part of that episode is when they think the health inspector is a zombie.
Please beat him.
With an anchor and a barrel. And the best part is just when Officer Jerry's just like, "Here, I'll do it, man. Die, zombies!"
Wait a minute, this guy's not a zombie, he's just an ordinary health inspector. Yes, and in order to avoid any more injuries.
I'd like to say the Krusty Krab has passed the inspection.
Can't believe they passed.
Oh my god.
And then let's all have a Krabby Patty. Oh boy, I'd love a
Like a
Krabby.
Krabby Patty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
So-
I love this episode for the like as I said, I made the Coen Brothers comparison. The comedy of errors of hiding a body in a 11-minute SpongeBob cartoon, and even including the bit where they've had to hide the body in in like the building where the police are and have to like make awkward small talk with the police until they leave is such an advanced joke.
It kind of reminds me of a much more grim version of the end of Wet Painters.
Oh my god.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the end of Left Painters, but way darker and stretched out for a full episode.
With the dead body.
I'm telling you, man, seasons 2 and 3 of SpongeBob were like when the show was at its peak, in my opinion.
Oh, 3 especially, but 2 did have some really
Season
strong
3 is the
ones.
best,
I
for
think
sure.
my
Yeah.
favorite joke in the episode, and this is Jordan's too. I know it's Jordan's too. This is near the beginning of the episode where like he have a news bulletin,
Yes.
and at first they're
it's not.
happy. It's like, oh, did you hear that, boy? We give him a crab, we're gonna pass the inspection. Da 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 da.
We interrupt this can to bring you a special bulletin. And then we interrupt this laughing at someone else's expense to bring you.
And if it's not this guy,
real.
he's real.
It's real.
Hey, Mr. Krabs, I think we're talking
Alright,
with the health
Christian.
inspector. Yo, Lodi, low fuck, that is the health inspector.
We're not going to be able to laugh about it, SpongeBob, because I think we killed him.
One common, the biggest common complaint that I feel like people give to later SpongeBob seasons, one of the biggest ones that you often hear is how immature SpongeBob is. SpongeBob has never really been known for his maturity. He is always known as a naive protagonist. And it's that sort of naive optimism that carries him through a lot of episodes. But at the end of the day, I put something like Can You Spare a Dime on here because we have SpongeBob, who is usually a naive optimist, and Squidward, who is this sort of cynical, knows what the world is, kind of mature, aged, kind of sap here. And the roles are reversed in this episode, whereas now SpongeBob, in a sort of rare case that we don't really get to see very often, is now trying to angrily push somebody else to make the mature decision. And this leads to probably my favorite Tom Kenny performance in the entire show. The scenes where SpongeBob has to deal with Squidward, where he has to subliminally be like, you have to get a job, someone has to do this job to do that job. What do you say? And everything about it, like, I think I just really like angry Tom Kenny. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's just really in his passive-aggressive nature.
You're funnier when you're angry.
Just shines through here, all of which culminating in probably in one of the best climaxes, where it's like, listen here, you crustacean cheapskate, Squidward's been living in my house driving me crazy, and you're not gonna hire him back all because of a stupid dime!
That's a dime? I've been in business a long time, boy.
I don't think it's very rare you see a single moment where SpongeBob loses his mind that hard, and I feel like that makes this episode so remarkable for me.
Well, it backs up to a point that this is one of the few episodes, in my opinion, where SpongeBob is the only sensible person in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Where the whole thing revolves around Squidward not only becoming so despondent, but being like detached from reality about how despondent he's being and how much he's mooching off of SpongeBob. It becomes less having power over him and more just him not realizing what he needs to do and not getting the signs and whatnot.
Squidward becomes
and
a
SpongeBob has to be and SpongeBob has to be really, really like, the voice of reason, which is rare. But it's done so well.
Yeah, it's definitely the most fascinating thing on here because it's really, they handle it really subtly too. Like when we start and Squidward is homeless, you think that this is a gag immediately. Like you don't think it's real. Like, oh, this is a funny cutaway to like what's going to happen, and then you realize slowly, oh, Squidward actually became homeless.
What happened to your art? Nobody wanted it, so I had to eat them.
And then it's so weird. SpongeBob brings him over, and instead of Squidward doing the usual, oh no, I can't believe I have to live with SpongeBob. He's grateful. He's kind. He's well-mannered. It's so unusual. He's like, I'll try not to be a burden. You're so sweet to do this. And like, it slowly creeps up on you. It's like small things at first.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, can I get a glass of water? SpongeBob, you forgot to turn out the light. And then it becomes, and why aren't you in uniform?
It's that gradual nature that makes Squidward's full selfish transformation so much funnier, and it makes SpongeBob's anger so much more vindicating.
Yeah.
And also funnier in that case.
Christian, you talked about like to do that job. There were a couple of jokes leading up to that. It's alphabet soup, which just spells get a job.
Yeah.
Then he hands him the job listings, and then finally it's like, I want to watch TV, and he does a whole puppet show. Where are you going? To my job.
You have a job?
I got some lazy freeloader who lives in bed all day. And then like he breaks the voice and goes, mooching off my friends, and they can get on with their lives.
It's one of the best examples of literally doing one joke like 6 times, and it's funny every single time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's not like a rake joke, you know, where it's like the exact same joke. It's variations.
Exactly, but it's of a similar idea, if you will.
Yeah.
The only other thing I want to mention is I think the turning point where we go from soft to hard is so much later. The old narrator got tired of waiting, and they had to hire a new
narrator.
Fucking hilarious. Hey, this episode might have my favorite use of title cards, and title cards are some of the funniest SpongeBob gags in the whole show.
Yeah.
So, it's either that or wet painters, honestly. I can't decide.
Can you hurry it up? I'm running out of title cards.
So yeah, this is actually my favorite episode of SpongeBob. I think I just can't get over the unique performances that I feel like play off of the strengths of characters that you almost never see. And it's also just really, really funny. You put the you put the dime in me pants. 2, you put the dime in me pants. And 3, you put the dime in me pants.
Slowly, SpongeBob is putting on the maid outfit. It's like, okay, I know where this is going.
So, ready to get to the vote?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Vinny.
I'm gonna go with the
wind
nasty
rises.
patty.
Marc.
I'm gonna go with Nasty Patty.
Jordan.
I'm actually going to need you to come back to me. This is actually a lot tougher than I thought.
Okay. Taylor.
I think how Nasty Patty aged for you as an adult a lot better. I think Can You Spare a Dime aged for me as an adult that much better. I really enjoyed my last watch of it. I'm going to vote for Can You Spare a Dime.
And Christian.
Can I spare a dime is the question. No.
Whether it is nobler in the mind.
Whether it's called nobler in the pants.
That's not from Death Race. This is why I had you come back to me, because I knew that it was going to come to this, and so now this is what it comes down to. For
Jordan, as a fellow host, can I?
Yes.
Can I implore you to possibly? No, I'm joking. I actually don't care.
Jordan, if you vote for my pick, I'll give you a dime.
Oh, okay. Well.
You have a time.
Here's what it is. Here's what it is. And one of you is going to be very happy with this. Of the two of these, one of these I have infinitely more experience with, because not only did I watch this a lot as a kid and I laughed very hard at it as a kid, but also I used to have like one of those like little books you would get that would have basically the storyboards of like SpongeBob episodes, like not storyboards, but like it would be like just an episode like with it was basically just like picture form episodes or something like that, where it's just like you read that. It's like comic book form of just the episodes.
Yeah.
And I had one of those of Nasty Patty, and which I can't believe because it's barely even a kids episode. But no, I love this episode so much, and I think that it's, a lot of what you were saying, Mick, I think is valid. It's just I can't believe they got away with that. I will give Can You Spare Dime credit. I rewatched it for the first time in a while. A lot of it does hold up. There's some logic and character leaps that I don't love, but I think it is still very good. I am going to give it to Nasty Patty though.
Yeah, I will say, Brother King.
He did not spare a dime.
That Brother King Spare a Dime, going to your point, Taylor, is an episode that I think holds up better when you're an adult watching it, because by the time you're an adult, you know people who are either Squidward or SpongeBob who've become them in the situation.
Or maybe people that are Squidward that are just trying desperately hard to get an employer to notice them.
Well, then the episode becomes sad.
Yeah. Preach.
I know. It'd be awful if someone's life was really like that. Anyway.
Yeah, it really would be, huh?
Can we stop talking about Graham like he's not here?
No. Graham's problem is that he refuses to learn how to drive.
Well, Graham's in the other room, okay? He's doing the Superman lead, so let's not talk too loud.
Yeah. If you say Superman that many times, he'll just bound in.
Oh my God, Superman! It's totally Superman.
Yeah, no. It's like it's like what's it called? Fucking
Beetlejuice?
No, I was gonna say Bloody Mary. If you say Superman 3 times, Graham will join.
Superman.
Someone talking about Superman.
Now I know why you did it.
God damn it.
Thanks for this, Graham. All right.
Graham, take this time.
I'm going to say this, Mick, if you didn't, I was sure going to.
Okay.
Probably would have been good for him to not have the duck sound and go back to the Superman theme when he jumps in.
Listen, we can't expect miracles.
Well, it's okay. The duck sound leads is just down the hall there, Graham.
Duck sound
Thank you.
Happy versus Donald. It's a barn burner.
Love you, Graham. Oh, he's fine.
So yeah. So we got Affleck versus Do You Have Any Grapes? The duck sound leads.
We need a list of all the horrible yearlies I do.
I like to nom our palms are sweaty for that new wooden stove we just bought.
Anyway, meanwhile,
Jordan, come on, you're the only one who could have laughed there.
Sorry, I zoned out while you said that.
You were the only one who would have laughed at that.
It's a joke for Taylor
I
and
heard
Jordan,
stove.
no one else.
I heard stove and what? What was it?
It was the Handy Quacks joke.
Oh, yes, and they never got their soda. Yes, okay. Sorry, I was in another state of being at the moment.
He was at the duck sound leads.
Can you not
ascended,
ascend while we're talking about ducks?
Guys, this next round is momentous, and I'm amazed that both of these episodes went up against each other.
All right. Speak of the devil, we got Shanghaied, which is a Jordan pick.
Yeah.
Up against Krusty Towers, which is it's a Marc pick. I was gonna say it was a Christian pick, but no, it's a Marc pick. Because I know Christian was really excited for this one.
Yeah,
I am.
Okay. Here's what's really funny about that. I know how much Jordan loves Shanghaied. So, do you want your Love Fest now or wait till you get home?
Shoot him now.
Okay.
You keep out of this? He doesn't have to Shanghai you now?
Hold up. Pronoun trouble. It's not he doesn't have to Shanghai you now. It's she doesn't have to Shanghai me now. I say he does have to Shanghai me now. So Shanghai me now.
Go ahead.
All right.
Actually, can I just ask a quick question before you start? I need to this is something that's important to me. When we talk about Shanghaied, are we counting the Patchy the Pirate segment?
I'm personally not, because I only saw this one as it was paired with another episode. Although, as I'm about to explain, it wasn't until years later at purchase that I saw the full special in its entirety and saw the other two endings. And can I just say, America got it right. The SpongeBob ending is the best ending. Now, this episode, Marc knows how much I love this episode because back in the day I used to do these lists, which has made me kindred with all of you. But these lists of our favorite SpongeBob episodes, and I would very nearly always put Shanghaied at number 1 because this one made me laugh the hardest as a kid. And I think I know why, because this one, out of a lot of the SpongeBob episodes, has so many echolalia moments, so many moments of lines that are meant for children to repeat them ad nauseum.
This guy had a
The
baby.
department.
Yes, the perfume department, that, the little, the you're good. So many, welcome back. So many lines that are just made for people to repeat. But just the montage, the thing that made me laugh the hardest as a kid was just the montage of the bitter dismay on the Flying Dutchman's face as SpongeBob and Patrick repeatedly destroy his ship, destroy his scaring operation. The cycle continues.
You're good.
That just made me lose it.
You're good.
That is an oft-repeated phrase in my house as well.
Yeah, like personally, I can say my experience playing Sea of Thieves is haunted by that episode. The you're good line.
You're good.
As I ram my ship into the coral reefs trying to
buff
park
out
it.
those scratches.
You know what's crazy though, Jordan?
Yeah.
The gag work of SpongeBob and Patrick endlessly torturing the Dutchman is obviously great. More Looney Tune like silliness, quite frankly. But my favorite bit is the beginning where Squidward is here, and SpongeBob consistently throws him under the bus while he gets burned alive by the Dutchman. We had the sea bear scene earlier, and that's great. But I think that SpongeBob and Patrick constantly jumping off the ship to arrive back on it while the Dutchman just burns Squidward over and over again, I think is equal to that gag work. I think that is so fucking funny that it's crazy. And then when they're done with Squidward, they just throw him into like the void.
Throw him into the fly of despair.
Sure.
I have I have used the fly of despair in conversation in like every Yearlies.
I was gonna say, I think you have.
It's so funny every single time.
Hey,
It's even funnier
Jordan.
the 50th time.
You're ready to hate me. Really, Christian? You said that in every Yearlies? Jordan, play the montage.
I'll kill you.
Have a good 3 weeks, Jordan.
That'll take me a while. But yeah, no. This is I like this one. I like just conceptually of like, okay, let's put these two characters terrorizing the Flying Dutchman, and it's a great performance by Brian Doyle Murray. I really don't know any network executive who'd want to replace him. What's that I'm hearing? Marc who? But it's.
Those guys are dorks. Yes, but they're my dorks.
Yes. No, I just really like this one. I'll say that I think that the reason why it was number 3 on my list rather than number 1 is because I can look at it as a 20-year-old person and think.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, I'm 20, and I can say now, like, yeah, a lot of this was really funny as a kid, and now I can see some things that maybe could be better about it, but I still think it's a really funny one. And,
as an adult, I'm not a huge. I mean, like, obviously, quoting Perfume Department is funny. I don't think escaping through the Perfume Department is that great for me, honestly.
I mean, it's a great concept because to me, the anxiety of the perfume department is not the things being sprayed at you. It's salespeople rushing out to talk to you as you're trying to walk through to get to the KB toys. That's where it comes from for me.
Go through, like, look at me. Do you think I'm here for your perfume? Look at me.
Yeah, and they're always ready to pop out whenever you least expect it.
Fair enough. I also feel like the 3 wishes idea is such a good idea that by the time we have it, the episode's almost over and you can't do as much fun stuff with it as I would have liked. We
got to set up the thing for people to call in on.
I think you're gonna need to give Taylor the history lesson on this one.
Yeah, because the whole thing was that it was a you choose ending where people had to vote on which ending they wanted better, and so people chose the SpongeBob ending, which is why they ended with it. But that's how we got that one. But they
yes. When you say the SpongeBob ending, do you mean where he wishes the Dutchman to be a vegetarian? Or do you mean the three
It was
wishes?
his ending. They had a SpongeBob ending, a Squidward ending, and a Patrick ending because each of them got to choose. So the part where he goes eeny, meeny, miny, mo, at that point on, that was the different ending that you could choose from.
Oh, are those available online?
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
you can see the other two endings.
I'm gonna go look at those because I'm actually not crazy about this ending.
Really? Because I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that it's a little non sequitur, them running away kind of thing. It's a fun ending.
Is it kind of like
Yeah.
Clue in that case?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's like Clue, except except they only aired one of them, and you kind of have to go out of your way to find the others.
Yeah, it was on the DVD. You can find
Yeah.
the all of them.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting to know. I am gonna look for those and I'll decide.
Also,
Yeah.
Which one's
just
the best?
one more funny thing about Shanghaied is that a couple weeks ago, someone leaked
Oh,
the
yeah.
full recording session of Shanghaied. So it's all the voice actors recording
Oh,
it,
so-
and so there's great moments. There's when they're recording the Patrick ending, the crew loved the Patrick end to the point where you can hear Steven Hillenburg going, "Man, I hope the Patrick one wins because that's funny." There's them discovering Leedle. It's like, oh my god,
Yes.
that's how we should do that. And just, yeah, it's just so much fun to hear audio of these people making this great episode and going, oh, good. They were laughing too. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, I think this will say a lot about me as a kid. But I used to love watching the director's commentary on all the SpongeBob episodes, and some of those bits are actually stuck in my head
really?
as well. Like whenever I think of to give you for context, they had a whole thing to talking about the perfume department, but in terms of things that are stuck in my head, whenever I hear about the band the Commodores, I always think now of the episode about the Sunday episode.
Something smells.
Because they make the joke about when SpongeBob goes easy like Sunday morning, and I forget who it was goes, there's a little hello to the Commodores.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now every time I think about the Commodores, I think
Man.
about that line. But yeah, and the Shanghaied commentary was great to listen to them talk about how they came up with the fact, they actually, that's not like stock footage. They went to an actual Macy's and filmed.
Oh, that's
it.
perfect.
Yeah.
So good.
Would it be cool if I got us started on Krusty Towers?
Sure.
I adore this episode, and I think that the best part of constructing this bracket was the confirmation that we all agree that this episode is pretty rad, because this was a very, when we say very late, we're talking about very late for us, because for all of us after season 4 we all walked away. Maybe a couple of season 5s, but so when I first saw this, I didn't know what to expect. We start with a Patrick tortures Squidward episode, and then it becomes a Squidward tortures Mr. Krabs episode. And that is just something you do not see. You get the rare episode where Squidward gets to be, I guess, can you spare a dime? But this is much more like he knows what he's doing. He's trying to prove a point to Krabs, and he is surprisingly great at it. Getting Krabs to hunt down his mother, and then they make cookies, and he goes, I just wish Mom was a better cook. And then when he fucking goes, this room is hideous, redesign it for me, and they just go through all these different ideas just to go back to the first one, and Krabs is like, this room is exactly the same as when we started. Now they're like getting back to the basics.
There's a line from this episode that I always quote, and it's because there's the bit where Squidward is like, what's in the suitcase? Rocks? And it opens up and it's actually full of rocks. And he goes, why is there a suitcase full of rocks? And Patrick goes, I don't tell you how to live your life. I quote that a bunch. I don't tell you how to live your life.
I added
so
Krusty
good.
Towers to my list because I kind of felt bad that the seasons 1, 2, and 3 reps. I'm like, no, season 4, and season 4. Lately, it's been getting a reputation of it's actually not the end yet. There actually is still quality present in season 4, and I agree. There's a lot of good season 4 stuff. So I
Yeah, that's where'd you get that piano came from?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Solid stuff. But also just, I just love Krusty Towers because I love that Mr. Krabs blatantly like Holiday Inn essentially. Like, yeah, so they did all these things, and the bill was insane. It was $25 for a hamburger.
$25 for a hamburger.
Which, listen,
Takes the hamburger out of
Five
it.
Guys now.
yeah, shit.
With cheese, Mr.
Cheese.
Squidward, with cheese.
Oh, okay. So when Patrick comes in, he goes, 1 Krabby Patty and 1 room with cheese. Oh, can I have cheese on the Krabby Patty too?
Yes.
Later,
I love that.
they feed Krabs a disgusting Krabby Patty, and Mr. SpongeBob's like, that's not really a Krabby Patty with all these things. And so Krabs eats it. He's like, SpongeBob, what's going on here? And he goes, sorry, Mr. Krabs, we were all out of cheese because he put all the cheese in Patrick's
Yeah.
I
room.
love it. I love it.
And also, Patrick coming in, he's like, I'll need some help with my bags. So we're like, how could you have bags? You just found out this was a hotel.
This is a hotel.
I think the part that hurts me the most is when Squidward's trying to take his bags up the elevator, and Krabs goes, "You need to use the employee elevator," and it's just stairs.
Man.
That fucking hurts. And then it ends with everyone getting hospitalized. So
The
like,
best things.
Sure.
And just how it ends with Mr. Krabs going, $15,000. Boys are going to medical school. Which, hey now,
I
listen,
know what we're gonna do
listen.
today.
This is a completely different show. I've always said if they wanted to do Ed and Eddie as adults, the boys become doctors in a real hospital would be so fucking funny. The only thing funnier than that would be SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward having to meet actual doctors. Just
That'd be
SpongeBob
funny.
having to help deliver a baby. My God.
you make the episode, Mark, and we'll give you
right.
notes.
It'll airing right after the newest episode of Hey Jarnal.
Yeah. Go back.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, my show, like my network has shows that like are kind of like the real show but don't exist. He's still describing an episode of SpongeBob. It needs to be like a different cast.
Star Boy.
You. What was
Listen,
the
Taylor,
Patrick
Taylor,
line again?
Taylor.
You live your life, I live mine.
Taylor, don't undermine my jokes where I'm trying to do a callback to you and praise one of your ideas, and you're like, well, actually, it'd be...
I'm sorry, Mick. I take my TV network very seriously because I'm going to make Hey Arnold. It's gonna
We're gonna
happen.
vote.
TV.
You take it very seriously. Anyway,
We're ready to I think we're ready to vote.
Mick, I call the drone strike on Jordan.
All right, Mick.
Oh,
as an
we're calling the drone strike on Jordan. All right, let's go, boys.
all right.
Junpei Haloma Heisemin. How day Xuanzhang? What ting Bujan? What day Xuanzhang? Oh. 谁住在深海底下打拼里，海满宝宝，飞飞汪汪，闪烁闪烁，海满那宝宝。如果星球探长气氛那个汪汪，海满宝宝，是个悄悄吹棒，人大有卡路，海满宝宝，兄弟，海满那宝宝，海绵宝宝，海绵宝宝，海绵。Bow, bow,
So I have a
Okay.
First of
question.
all, that's some dedication. Second of all, that took me way too long to figure out what you were doing.
Took me pretty long as well.
If Christian hadn't done that, or if nobody had called the strike, would you have just not done that?
Yeah, I would have just not done that.
Okay.
Aw, well, I'm glad that you called a drone strike.
Yeah, Jordan, thanks for making a shitty joke so I could call the drone strike.
Before
Yeah,
the
no,
Jones said I was
I've been practicing my I've been learning the SpongeBob song in Mandarin for a few days now.
The dedication.
It's a waste.
I needed to make sure that my pronunciation was close
Was it
enough.
3 days?
Mick,
Yes.
3 days.
Days.
I think the bit in Mandarin makes a lot more sense on the network, quite frankly. Like we air SpongeBob, but only in Mandarin.
that's That'd be fucking hilarious. If like it's like, oh yeah, we have this network, and it's like all these shows, and then one where it's not even like it's the same show. It's just in a language. It's the only one in that foreign language.
Exactly. Okay. See, we made it work. I told you. I take my network seriously. We found an idea. We worked with it. Let's vote.
All right, so Vinny.
I'm gonna go with Shanghaied.
Okay.
Okay.
Mark.
I'm gonna go with Shanghaied because much like Jordan, I have a great love towards this episode. It is a fantastically written episode. It's comedic as hell. And I gotta admit, after I saw the episode the first time, whenever I went to Macy's, I held my breath. I'm like, no. I can't.
Same, bro. Same,
I gotta get to
bro.
the perfume department.
The sensory explosion. Yeah.
Problem was he went to Macy's.
Yeah. You gotta go JCPenney. That's where it's at.
If Macy's agrees to sponsor us, we'll edit that joke out.
Yes. Sponsored by Macy's.
I do have them on the line.
Anyway, selling Hey Jarnold merchandise soon. A jar and divorce papers.
Just replace the big M at the front with a J, and we have a deal.
Camera and life lessons sold separately.
Jordan.
All right, me, yeah. Unsurprisingly, I am going to go with Shanghaied. Although I will say, rewatching Krusty Towers for this it's a much better episode than I previously thought. I have some issues with it. I think that it's a little. It's like, okay, it's Squidward getting its comeuppance, and then Squidward getting the jump on Krabs, and Krabs getting its comeuppance, and then they all get it didn't lead to it's weirdly shaped, and I think that it's good, but it's I have some issues just with.
Yeah, I would agree with you that the pacing is a little odd, but
I saw it as like kind of it's like a revenge plot almost.
Yeah, but it doesn't completely go through it because they all just like, oh, and we're back to normal.
Well, yeah, but that's just what being Squidward entails, you know.
Not necessarily. Yeah. There are episodes where they've ended SpongeBob episode on like weird things that they could never come back from, like the episode
Shanghaied.
Yeah, exactly, like Shanghaied, or the one where they all turn into snails, or that one later season episode where SpongeBob it lives in the wilderness for several hundred years and comes back to find that society has collapsed while he was gone.
What was that episode?
I don't quite remember that one.
Is that Spongehenge?
Yeah, Spongehenge.
Okay, just checking.
And like the episode ends, he comes back, and it's a parody of Planet of the Apes because he comes back, the Krusty Krab is half sunk to the ground in sand. He's like, "No, and then like cuts like 3,000 years later, and aliens are coming to visit the Spongehenge, and they're like, "I don't know who built this, but it makes a beautiful sound when wind passes through it." Anyway, yeah. So Taylor.
Well, it doesn't matter, so I'm voting for Krusty Towers. Whether or not I would have voted for Krusty Towers anyways, this was definitely the toughest one on here. It definitely, like, Krusty Towers is definitely one that I always know I'm going to have a good time with, whereas rewatching Shanghaied this time was just, like, a reminder of how great it is. I guess they both have, I have issues with the ending on both. So, you know what, for now, I'll just be happy that I don't have to choose between the two of them. Krusty Towers.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And Christian.
So there's a particular reason why I know both of these episodes and why I was very excited to see them both here on the same round. Both of these episodes are the source materials used in some of the most iconic and earliest YouTube poops created. For Krusty Towers, it's the Haunted House of Ouija, and Shanghaied is the Sky Had a Ouija. As you can tell, each YouTube poop had about 3 jokes, each repeated 20 times. We will never deny spaghetti, even with the most ridiculous dinner. It's just that it's the same jokes.
That's all YouTube poop is. It's just Hotel Mario with a couple of linked faces of evil lines.
No, I can't. Yeah, no, that's the only reason I even know anything about it. This guy had a Pokemon for my cereal box, Squidward. I'm gonna vote for Shanghai because I like that actual episode better. However, if I was voting on which YouTube poop I liked more, I'd vote for Krusty Towers.
How weird would it be if that was the metric?
Yeah.
Listen, we voted for a lot pettier reasons.
We have. Yeah.
And by we, I mean Christian.
Name one.
I don't know, voting for Grand Theft Auto because the YouTube content was better.
Your listening comprehension needs work, Taylor. F minus.
I mean, you nearly voted against Papers, Please, because you didn't like the way the creator's face looked.
That is the metric and algorithm you guys have created.
That's
It was
it.
up against Ace Attorney, Jordan.
This is
I
gonna
know,
sound like a
I'm-
weird comparison,
kidding.
but that's like saying Vince McMahon doesn't like one of his wrestlers because his
No,
face
see
is
what
weird.
you see what you've done? You've convinced Vinny that wasn't a joke.
No, I'm just saying, like even as a joke, that's like I only say that because that actually happened. Vince McMahon hated one of his wrestlers because of the way his face looked.
I buy it.
Pope has a mustache. Moving on.
So, next episode we have Krab Borg versus Dying for Pie. Krab Borg being a Vinny pick, possibly, and Dying for Pie being a Marc pick. Who would like to go first?
Possibly.
It's a me pick.
Okay.
But it's not called Crabborg, it's called Beep Boop Boop Bop.
No, I thought it was called Beep Boop Bop.
Oh, you're thinking of Beep 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 Boop Boop Bop.
Can we just do that for 4 minutes?
Beep boop bop.
Oh.
Beep.
Boop boop beep.
No,
No,
I'm gonna let you go
beep.
first. I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm dying for pie. So I
No,
do
no.
a little bit of new age management, and you try
Hercules.
to kill him. So this episode of Squidward being forced, apparently against his will, to be friendly towards SpongeBob because he thinks he might have killed him, is a interesting premise. You know, there are a lot of cartoons that the main plot is our main character is going to die. And it's the bad guy's fault.
If you say
It's kind
so.
of like that. So, what I love about is just the list of SpongeBob's favorite things. Just here's a list of my favorite things. Wow, this is a long list. The favorite things I wrote in red. Everything's in red.
It's all in
Yeah,
red.
no. And just basic bullshit that Squidward is allowed to do because he thinks he's gonna die.
The salmon
The
suit.
salmon.
You're gonna be wearing a salmon suit. Don't be
good
silly.
one.
What, Squidward? Cut over to the kids. They all throw rocks at Squidward. And stop. And that's what it would look like if you had me as a face. I can't breathe.
Gag after gag
Heart
after gag.
surgery.
I mean, I do like when they just. I like when they babble as an idiot.
What, Squidward? We already babbled like an idiot.
I love that gag so
Yeah.
much.
So, like, all of that's great.
Yeah.
I think some of the best gag work in this episode actually comes from some of the beginnings with Krabs. Like, Krabs is, like, weirdly great at this. When he's like, I've seen this before. 11 times, in fact. And then Squidward goes and he calls up the hospital. Hello, hospital? What? 11 times?
I think for me, it's the opposite. My favorite part of this episode is the end.
Hang on, wait.
Right.
Well, hang on. While we're still on the beginning, I need a shout out to my boys, the pirates. It's like, no,
yes.
these aren't pies. They're bomb. They were made in a bomb factory. They're bombs.
They're
Oh,
bombs.
The such unpirate, like the professional voice, like it's a very understated performance by the guy where he's like, they're bombs.
Yeah, that's too bad. But they were pirates and I wanted to buy one.
Yeah, I'm sucking the ball.
Oh, forget about that. Yeah, of course, they're pies. They're $25.
Sell it a pie. See?
So please get me out of this pie.
Get me out of the pie! It's gonna explode!
Yeah, it's funnier because it's bigger than a normal size hat.
He's gonna drown in it! Drown in it!
Note to self: watch out for Squid.
And then, like, again, towards the end, when Squidward is remembering what Krabs said to him, and SpongeBob goes, "It's Mr. Krabs! Hi, Mr. Krabs!" Okay, see you later!
One of my
Yes, yes,
favorite
Krabs.
moments.
Oh, the best one.
Oh, no, like, it's such a great... And listen, I've also noticed when I was watching on the episodes for this, I'm like, we picked a lot of SpongeBob and Squidward episodes, which is fine. But it's just but this is a really good SpongeBob Squidward episode.
Well, this is a SpongeBob is obsessed with Squidward episode, as opposed to like a Squidward is antagonized by SpongeBob. It's just I have to put up with SpongeBob today, which is
and of course,
it's fun.
You like this sweater, Squidward? I made it with my tears.
I think similarly to the camping episode, this episode I know almost entirely for one moment, and it is the very, very end where with the fucking explosion.
Yeah,
again.
I don't know. Is this the?
I mean, erosion.
I'm not sure if this is the first time where they use the footage of the Bikini Atoll nuclear bomb testing.
If it is not the first time, then this is the episode.
It's the most
which
iconic. Certainly.
Yeah, this is the episode which probably convinced every video editor in the late 2000s to use the same explosion.
You, me, and this brick wall that you built between us.
Wow, feels like something landed in my lower intestine.
Let's count it down! And then they counts it down too early. We're doing
You do the rest. Hey.
I gotta tell you though, if SpongeBob never ate the pie and was licking his fingers, then why does he taste it in his lower intestine?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, let's go again.
Because it's funny.
He probably it was clearly something else that he ate.
I mean, well, yes, logically that's correct, but he's describing it exactly like this blueberry apple, whatever.
That's the joke.
I can think, yes. So beep beep boop boop bop.
No, boop boop beep.
Wow.
Beep beep boop boop bop. So in the other end of the Squidward and SpongeBob dynamic, this is a rare episode where Squidward takes SpongeBob completely seriously and is genuinely working together with him.
Yeah.
And I find that dynamic just as fascinating when, like, I'll evacuate the customers. You call the Navy. Squidward the robots have taken over the Navy. Not the
Navy.
It's one of my favorite deliveries ever.
Yeah. It's just the idea that SpongeBob's paranoia genuinely wins over Squidward to the point that they team up, and Squidward genuinely holds no malice about it. He genuinely believes SpongeBob.
Not until the end, anyway.
Well, yes, of course, because it's time to go feed Gary. But and like that's also great. Just interrogating when they play interrogation with Mr. Krabs and just start slapping him and destroying his stuff. Where's Mr. Krabs? Mr. Krabs.
I am Mr. Krabs. No, the best one is when he asks Mr. Krabs, "What color is my underwear?" and then just proceeds to slap him.
SpongeBob, you gotta ask him a question first.
I love that. The whole interrogation bit I love because he's doing it wrong. And it's just like so well timed.
Yeah, because they're trying to play good cop, bad cop.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't have too many moving parts to overcomplicate it. It's just SpongeBob, Squidward, and Krabs. And I just like how it works. The production value of the movie that SpongeBob watches at the beginning is so fucking great. Just the fucking stilted robot chasing the very obviously running in place human.
I love early SpongeBob episodes that use live action people. It always works out super well.
They're all having fun. It's usually just one of the animators or one of the voice actors just in front of a camera being over the top. Tom Kenny is the hot sauce.
I was gonna say,
I to be really, really hot.
So going back to what I said about I See Night TV, about that being sort of not a great way of withholding information humor, Krabborg is the absolute silliest form of withholding information because it just goes to all of these really elaborate means to rationalize all these things that confirm SpongeBob and later Squidward's suspicions. It's just, how can we best do something ridiculous to make their ridiculous theory make sense? Like what the means they go to get Krabs to bound out the door with like pinchers and like bloodshot eyes is ridiculous.
Batteries in his pocket.
Yes.
But see, like, I also just love the lead up to it, where Squidward is still like very unconvinced about what SpongeBob is like worried about. It just leads to SpongeBob being like, "Squidward says he loves you," or he has this neat joke.
Squidward's
Like,
father never hugged him. Isn't that sad?
Well, yes, I suppose it is rather sad, but Squidward can hug himself on his own time.
I just love that, like, for as much as Squidward, like, winds up working together with SpongeBob, SpongeBob takes so many digs at him.
There's a line when Krabs' radio dies. He takes out the battery. He goes, "These batteries still have a little juice in them. I know. I'll give them to Pearl for Christmas."
Shitty bastard.
That's just so much of him as a character.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's the working together of these two that wins me over. Just the idea, like, Squidward can just get so into SpongeBob's paranoia that, like, makes this so much fun. And, like, obviously, beep boop boop beep boop bop app boop boop no spaghetti bop.
Dinner.
No, you're thinking of boop boop dinner bop.
No.
Are we ready to vote?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Vinny.
I'm gonna vote for my pick, Krabborg.
All right, Marc.
I said earlier that I was going to vote for Imitation Krabs. This is a better Krabs robot episode. It is Krabborg.
Whoa, Krabborg was the other robot episode? Mr.
Yes,
Wait,
obviously.
Whoa.
Wait.
Duh.
Yeah.
Taylor, hang on. Taylor, was that genuine surprise?
Sarcasm? I thought I was pretty good at it, and you guys are really like making me question. Like, obviously that's sarcasm. What possible? You guys have any faith in me?
Taylor,
And,
I'm terrible at reading sarcasm, and I got it.
Jordan.
I'm giving it to Dying for Pie because I think that's just a perfect
Collection of 60 episodes.
Run of events.
yes. Die for.
Just like Avatar.
Yeah.
No, I love how it gets to where it gets to, and also I love the ending. So yeah. Dying.
SpongeBob is my favorite episode of Dying for Pie, honestly.
Yeah. Taylor.
Dying for Pie is okay. I don't think that it wins me over in the same way that a lot of other stuff does on here. It's like, it's cute in the same way I think Imitation Krabs is cute, which makes sense. They're both part of the same episode. Krabborg is just a ton of fun, and I think it has less struggle and just has a really satisfying ending. So,
yeah.
All
right, and Christian.
Two things. One, I think Krabborg is the episode that I remembered the least about. So when all of you were quoting it, I thought it was fucking hilarious because I remembered none of those lines. Dying for Pie is an interesting one for me because the title card for Dying for Pie always, to me when I was a kid, looked like the title card for Pizza Delivery. And I like Pizza Delivery a lot more than Dying for Pie. So when I figured out it was Dying for Pie, I'd get disappointed. Nonetheless, I do like, in this instance, I like Dying for Pie more because I just really like the premise a whole ton. And, well, compared to these two episodes, I remember much more of Dying for Pie.
I'm kind of surprised that anyone could not remember Krabborg. I feel like these all exist in a bubble where we remember everything about all 16 of these.
Does anyone think it's weird that when my three entries are put together, I didn't vote for any of them?
All right, so now we're go on to losers round one. Losers round one. We got Imitation Krabs versus the Algae's Always Greener.
Oh, this is hilarious! Plankton being Mr. Krabs twice.
Yeah,
this is great.
Plankton episodes.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta choose new voting order. Let's start with Christian.
We're back to Christian already?
Give me a bit. You'll see my strategy.
Oh my goodness, Squidward is so synonymous with me. I have to vote.
I mean,
the algae's always greener.
I can't think of oh my goodness Squidward without thinking of our playing Bloodborne together.
We would literally, I would say, "Oh my goodness" in response to like an enemy attacking me, and both of us would like instinctually yell,
Go.
"Squidward!"
I hate to break this to you. That wasn't your Bloodborne playthrough. That was just your second year at purchase.
Although Bloodborne was where it was recorded and thus immortalized for all of eternity.
Yeah.
I was there, and I'm immortalized for all of eternity.
No, you're not.
Taylor
You'll
is
die
an
like the
elder
rest of
god.
us.
Damn, that's depressing.
No, it's not. That's life. We all die eventually.
It's so weird that this year is like, well, everybody dies. Actually, I don't think so.
Yeah, no. So Christian just went. So now it's Vinny's turn.
I'll go for Algae's always greener.
Gosh.
Taylor?
So, is "Oh my goodness, Squidward" a line that is immortalized by the community or a line that is immortalized by you two?
I don't know.
Largely. I don't really remember. I don't really know anyone else who says it that much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Clanky does.
Well, you can take a wild fucking guess why.
No, Clanky's not.
Who else does Clanky know?
You're right. How could Clanky possibly know about a bit that me and Christian do? It's not like he knows us. It's not like I've been over to his house for a barbecue.
The Algae is always greener is the better Plankton episode.
It's not like you've literally been in his room during a stream.
We've all been in his room during a stream.
This is true.
Marc?
Many people are saying that.
Alright, was it Audi's always greener versus Imitation Krabs?
Imitation Krabs.
Imitation Krabs. Yeah.
I think it's 3-0.
It is 3-0.
Yeah, but if we get a 5-0, we can do Mermaid Man Park.
Come back to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Jordan.
Well, I'm giving it to Imitation Krab so it doesn't leave empty-handed. So.
Okay, and back to you.
Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna give it to Algae's always greener.
Thanks, Marc.
Look, Mr. Krabs, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. No, you're not, boy.
No, you're not, boy.
I'm sorry, Jordan. This was your favorite, so I do feel bad.
No. It's all good. Hey, again, it's funny when it happens to me.
Hey, my favorites and losers too.
All right,
we stick together.
Next up, we got a camping episode versus the idiot box. Starting with
essentially the same episode.
Christian.
Yeah, I mean, really. So first we have two.
Yeah, now it's two Squidward psychologically obsessed with SpongeBob episodes.
These placements are crazy. I will say what I said last time. I am the idiot, and this is my box. This box was made for me.
This box is your box.
Vinny?
I'm gonna go with the idiot box.
Pete Seeger.
Okay. Taylor?
Yes, idiot box.
Okay. Marc?
This box was... I don't know. I'm just gonna give it to the camping episode.
Alright, Gordon?
Gord. Okay, that's a new one.
Sorry, I was drinking water at the same time. I was expecting Marc's bit to be a little bit longer.
No.
Me too.
Also, Mick.
You know, I've heard that a lot about me.
Also hosting. Why are you sort of ventriloquist?
You know, he's done that before. Actually,
where's the bag?
Oh
no.
Actually, very briefly, I'll switch my vote actually to the camping episode. I just thought about it for a little bit.
Oh shoot! Dang. So I have the deciding vote now.
I think I just voted for Idiot Box because I wanted to make the Enigma of Amagir a full reference.
Oh, the power.
Well, the thing is that you've made my vote the deciding vote, and now my vote is going to send the camping episode to the next round because I like it better.
Yes!
Okay. So
it's
next,
what Pete Seeger would have wanted.
We got As Seen on TV versus Can You Spare a Dime?
And I think these are part of the same episode.
Wow.
They are. Holy shit.
So, starting with Christian.
Yeah. It's my job to vote for Can You Spare a Dime?
Okay. Vinny?
Well, I don't have 10 cents, so I can't spare a dime, but I did see a dime on TV, so I'm going to vote for As Seen on TV.
Taylor?
What would Clanky do?
So I'm going to vote for The Wind Rises.
The Wind Rises.
I'm going to vote for Can You Spare a Dime?
Inflatable Pants is not on this bracket.
Marky Mark?
I'm gonna give it to SCN on TV because I want to vote for one of my entries once.
Jordan?
Just once.
All right.
Once.
Well, I can reveal that because I was talking, Taylor, I was talking to you last night, and I told you that there was one gag in one of the ones that I prepped for tonight that caught me off guard, and there was the gag in Can You Spare a Dime where it's we see outside the house as he's doing all the things for Squidward, and then it was like, oh, SpongeBob, you left the light on. Okay, click, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
died
As you-
at that. That's so
I
I know he
would-
still isn't looking for a job.
You know what Jordan, if you had not done the sound effects just now, it wouldn't have made sense to me. As soon as you did the sound effects, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Okay,
Actually,
good. I'm
Jordan,
glad
I
that helped.
believe we have footage of SpongeBob going down those stairs. Play the clip.
Oh yes, let's take a look.
It's in Royal Crack.
Poorly
I'm
editing
not- Can You Spare a
SpongeBob's
Dime?
face onto the royal crack. Dear God.
Yes, I will.
Fine.
I will. I voted for Can You Spare a Dime?
Okay. All right, and then we have Krusty Towers versus Dying for Pie. Christian.
Now, if we were judging this based off YouTube poops,
Oh my god.
Okay.
considering that I don't know any YouTube poop that uses Dying for Pie, I'd have to give it to Krusty Tower. However,
Yeah,
Oh,
make-
we are
give it to
not
Krusty
judging this
Tower.
based off of YouTube poop, so I'm going to be voting for Dying for Pie.
You're a crusty coward.
Taylor,
Okay.
I can't
Turn
think
on
of a
my
quote
camera.
from the YouTube poop. I'm a fraud. Continue.
Taylor, set up the server.
That was absurd.
I like the idea that if Clanky's not here, it falls to me.
Yeah. You're very
Um,
good at getting plans together, Taylor. So that's probably why.
all right. So next up, we got Vinny.
Pie's a lot cheaper than staying at a hotel, so I'm going to vote for pie.
Yeah, but it's about quality.
Okay.
What was it?
Next, we have Taylor.
Dude, Krusty Towers, I really hope does not lose Losers Round 1, because this episode is really good. Okay, I heard the sigh, Jordan.
No, that's not
okay.
why I'm sighing. I'm
Okay.
sighing because I'm pretty sure I know what Mark's about to do.
I don't know. Mark's betrayed all of his other picks so far. Why can't he just do me a solid this once?
Come on, Solid, do me a steak.
You must die.
So
Vote for
Mark.
Krusty Towers, Mark.
Oh, am I the tiebreaker?
No,
No.
well, I think I'm going to be the tiebreaker, but you do you.
Let's see. Dying for Pie versus Krusty Towers.
We shall never deny a guest, even their most ridiculous request. Well, here I am,
Yeah,
making it.
but like, satin suit. Come on. That's some funny shit right there. Dying for Pie guy. Pie.
Squidward walks out of the hotel naked and then spins around and comes in with a Hawaiian shirt,
It's great.
orders
Squidward
room.
never wears pants.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Right.
amazed has been arrested
Jordan?
for decent exposure. Now that's an episode.
Just making sure. Yeah, making sure, Mark, you voted for Dying for Pie?
I did, yes.
Okay. All right. It's funny because before we send Krusty Towers on a Viking funeral here, I will say the one joke that really impressed me was the one where Krabs and SpongeBob kidnap Squidward's mom.
Oh, yes.
And then there's an extended sequence of them basically beating what we are led to assume is the tied up grandmother in the trunk, And then the wholesome reveal that it's just her luggage and she's along for the ride, and it's really sweet. I
Let's
love
go
that
make
gag.
some cookies, boys.
I love that gag so much. So much that I'm actually going to vote for Krusty Towers, just to make sure you're not alone there, Taylor.
Thank you. That makes me a little less crusty sour.
Oh,
How would your mother used to make them? I don't know. Ask my mother.
And I think that's the only time we ever see Squidward's mother too.
That's not.
well, I love she was so game. Like, oh yeah, I'll make some cookies.
The April
Well,
Fool's
at the very least, I think that was
episode,
the first time we saw her mother. his
That
mother.
might be true. No, it can't be because no. The first time was the pranks episode.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
the April Fool's episode.
Mother?
Squidward's mom was in the April Fool's episode?
Yeah.
When?
Squidward is hallucinating all the people who have told him how much he sucks, and one of them is his mother.
Hey, you stink!
Mother?
That was his mother?
Yeah, that was his mom.
He says,
Oh.
"Mother."
Okay. Yeah. When you put it like that, you begin to make some sense.
Next round we have. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong window. All right. So next up we got round 13, which is Wet Painters versus Band Geeks. We're going to start with Jordan.
Let's cut to the score.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah,
Oh.
cut the score. Ba-da-ba-bum-ba-bum, ba-da-da-ba-bum.
It's Band Geeks. I'm sorry, Wet Painters, but it's Band Geeks.
All right. Mark.
Band Geeks.
Taylor.
It's Band Geeks. I'm not sorry, Wet Painters.
Vinny.
Well, just so it's not a complete curb
No,
stomp.
no, I love the
Don't be
song.
a coward. Don't be a coward, Vinny. You know what you want.
I know what
Vinny
I
is
want,
my favorite song.
but I don't have the strength to do it, so I'm going with Wet Painters.
Vinny,
Did you, hang on. Vinny, do you actually like Wet Painters more than Band Geeks?
Who cares?
No, but I don't want it to be curb stomp because I love them both equally.
Yeah.
To be fair, we have voted this way before.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I find it funny that SpongeBob was the clear winner of the Nicklies and everyone knew it was going to win. And even within SpongeBob, I feel like Band Geeks is the clear winner and we know it's going to win. I'm voting for Band Geeks.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Oh shit!
All right.
You're
So-
right. The camping episode's got a chance.
Well, if you want to know what I think could really challenge it, next round.
So next round we got Chocolate with Nuts versus SpongeBob Meets a Strangler. Jordan.
Oh no!
It's Chocolate with Nuts, but it's closer than I'd like to admit because I really enjoy SpongeBob Meets the Strangler.
Mark.
Come back to me.
Taylor.
Come back to me.
Oh, my.
Vinny.
I'm gonna go with Meets the Strangler.
Okay.
Oh.
Christian.
Did
Open
you
up
just
too
say
long.
chocolate?
Cool. Mark. Back to you.
I'm giving it to SpongeBob Meets the Strangler.
Whoa.
Taylor.
Tiebreaker.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, I
Taylor.
know it's Chocolate with Nuts. Leave me alone.
Oh.
It's Chocolate with Nuts. Leave me alone.
no.
Let me be. Stop.
It would. The thing is, there was a chance it could have been the other one, and that would have also been really cool.
I
That would have been
know,
wild.
but like SpongeBob Meets a Strangler maybe it's not recency bias, but it's just like like I love those spiky cleats in his eyeballs. I really do. But like every part of Chocolate with Nuts works. And there's a couple of parts that meets the Strangler that maybe don't work as well. Maybe the highest of gags in Strangler are a little better, but if we're talking consistency, then the chocolate bar of Chocolate with Nuts is.
So next up we got No Weenies Allowed versus Nasty Patty.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to go with Nasty Patty here because it fits itself to my sense of humor perfectly. Even as a kid, I loved
Yeah.
that.
Mark.
Patty, Miss Nasty, if you're nasty.
Taylor.
I'm going with No Weenies Allowed, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vinny.
No weenies allowed.
Damn.
Christian.
Weenie Hut General.
All right. Nasty Patty
Wow.
drops down to losers.
Wow.
and,
All right.
No Weenies Allowed moves on. All right, we got Shanghaied versus Krabborg. Fun fact: this is where I learned the term Shanghaied, as I'm sure plenty of people did.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't even think I learned it from this. I think I just thought that's a word, and then
I'm
didn't bother
with Christian.
with
I completely agree.
Shanghaied is an old sort of term for kidnapping. It referred to the it referred to the idea of of getting someone on a ship and then forcing them to become a sailor by like press ganging them onto the ship.
I thought it's just forcing someone to go to China.
Well, that's the thing. Shanghai was the destination for a lot of these ships.
Oh,
okay.
I was like, "What the fuck did you just say, Jordan?" And then the joke hit me, and I was like, "Oh."
No, I don't think it's a joke. I think it's just factual information.
No, what Jordan said.
Yeah.
No, I was kind of making a joke because that's also the name of it.
Yeah, there was a famous guy who used to do this. His name was he gained the name. His name is James Shanghai Kelly, and he would like throw parties and invite people onto the ships, and then while they were partying, he'd cast off and like, "All right, guys, we're going to Shanghai. Get to work."
He was in charge of tourism for China, actually.
Yeah. So anyway, Shanghai versus Krabborg. Jordan.
It is Shanghaied.
Yeah. Marc.
Come back to me later.
Mark. Okay. Taylor.
No, wait, it was his mother you said was dirty, not a ship.
Vinny.
Shanghai.
Christian.
Now, if we were judging this based off what you two poop by like, I'm voting for Shanghai.
All right, and finally, Mark, back to you.
Hi there. So I'm gonna give it to what was it? Shanghai versus what episode?
Krabborg.
I'm giving it to Shanghai.
Wow.
Oh, was that 5?
Yeah.
No, it's ba. Can you turn Hawaii Five-0 like in transition the song into the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boys?
Stop giving. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, no, that's way too difficult.
Ideas.
No, it's not. It's
okay.
It's easy if you could just do the transition.
That's
fair.
Silly edits.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know. I have anxiety about asking people to do editing for me. So I'm always like defensive. I'm always defensive of Jordan. I'm like, no, don't make him. Really don't tell him to do things.
Like, you know what? Let's see if I can do it. And
all right.
See if it works
Jordan,
out. Really
can you
cool.
turn this bracket into a Dave Letterman top 10 list?
Top 10 numbers from 1 to 10. Number 10. Number 9.
Jordan, can you insert one frame from every SpongeBob episode?
Jordan, can you turn this into a SpongeBob dating sim?
Oh god!
All right, round 17. Give it up for round 17.
What day are we at? I lost track.
Wet painters versus dying for pie. We're gonna start with Taylor.
I'm going to vote for painters.
Christian.
Jordan, can you replace every entry here with wet painters?
That's against the rules.
You know what this is? This is that episode where SpongeBob and Patrick are having soda with Squidward, and like they just keep holding out their glass for SpongeBob to fill the.
That's what it's like editing the yearlies, isn't it, Jordan?
Jordan, hey Jordan. Sorry, boys, I'm all out of gags. I'm gonna go get some more.
It's very much the Courage the Cowardly Dog macaroni and cheese gag. That's what editing is like.
Jordan, Patrick, your glass is still full.
Oh, sorry. Jordan, can you just submit a copy of my resume here?
Yeah, I can do that up in a Word doc and make it really silly. So
Jordan,
yes.
Can you edit in an edit that makes all of your edits very easy and relaxing to do for this video? I vote for wet painters.
Marc.
All right. I am giving it to. Get back to me, actually.
Vinny.
Well, I don't want to get paint on this pie because then I'll die, so I'm going to go for wet paint instead.
All right, and Jordan.
Wet painters. Yeah.
And Marc.
Wet painters.
Cool. Moving on.
Is that a 5-0?
Remember. Taylor, what did you vote for?
I voted for wet painters.
Okay,
If
then I
anyone
guess it is
voted
a
for
5-0.
dying for pie, speak now or forever hold your peace.
All right, yeah.
All right. So next up, we got SpongeBob Meets the Strangler versus Can You Spare a Dime? Starting with Taylor.
It's SpongeBob Meets the Strangler, and I do respect Can You Spare a Dime, but Strangler is just so much funnier.
Christian.
I don't want to meet the Strangler. I'm voting for Can You Spare a Dime?
All right. Mark.
I want to meet the Strangler because I have enemies that I need vanquished.
Vinny.
He's talking about me.
This episode clearly shows he will do a terrible job.
Well, he's only asking for a dime, so.
I'm gonna go with the Strangler.
God, our wordplay is on point tonight.
And Jordan.
I'll make it a 4-1. SpongeBob makes a Strangler.
Okay.
No, that was 4-1.
It doesn't get the song.
No, it got 4/5 of the song.
All right. Nasty Patty versus the camping episode. Taylor.
Oh, geez. So, the dark tone of Nasty Patty versus the sea bear gag. Which do I like more?
Don't want to come back to you?
Yes.
Christian.
See a song. Camping episode.
I was so expecting you to then say Nasty Patty. But, all right. Mark.
I am giving it to the Nasty Patty.
Vinny.
I'll go with the Nasty Patty.
Jordan.
It's wild how far this is going on this, but Nasty Patty, man.
And back to you, Taylor. Posterity vote.
It'll help if you just sing along.
I really like that sea bear gag.
I really like that.
It's a great gag.
Yeah, all right. I like the sea bear gag camping episode.
Yeah. Also, camping episode is also great because they make fun of the National Choir, something I will always support, especially after what they did when they stole the Bet sphere.
Is that the sea bears and fairy tales are real?
Yeah.
Gag?
Yeah.
That's great.
I married a sea bear.
I will not. I've never forgiven the National Choir for stealing the Bet's sphere.
You know, stories and fairy tales are real.
All right. Next up, we got Krab Borg versus the Algae's Always Greener.
The Algae's Always Greener
Taylor.
going against the other Mr. Krabs robot episode.
Christian.
No, I got it. It's
Oh, okay.
give me trust.
Sorry, no, it's like you asked me to come back to you for like the past 3, so I was like, all right, he's gonna do it again. Okay.
I asked you to come back to me for the last 2. Let's not get too crazy here. Crap.
I don't tell you how to live your life.
Okay.
Christian.
Do you think this is funny?
In a cosmic sort of way, yes. But what's your vote?
The Algae's Always Greener.
Mark.
Squidward.
I'm giving it to Krab Borg.
Okay. Vinny.
Corporate casual. The algae is always greener on the other side.
And Jordan.
The sauce. You use too much sauce. Algae's always greener.
I'm not a huge fan of that joke, actually.
I am.
Where SpongeBob goes, Sue.
Sue.
Yeah,
Sue.
I don't know.
Sue.
All right.
Where's the off switch on this
Mick is-
thing?
All right.
Yeah. So, next up, we got SpongeBob Meets the Strangler versus Wet Painters. Starting with Jordan.
Okay. Oh God, this is tough. I think that Wet Painters is the more consistent episode, so I'm voting for it.
Okay. Vinny.
There's a reason why this pet is still white, or this paint is still white.
I was gonna make that joke, Vinny. God fucking damn.
That's the Strangler.
This
So
pet
I'm
is
voting
still
for
white.
that.
You keep doing this. What are you voting for?
That's the Strangler.
Okay, Mark.
Oh, okay.
Did he?
Thank you for clarifying.
8.
Cool. Christian?
Ain't.
Oh, in my original joke, I'm gonna vote for Pet Waiters.
What the fuck's going on?
And Taylor.
Is Strangler dead?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's not cool.
I mean, he did strangle a lot of people.
I don't think Vinny meant to do this, but I heard death strangling.
I get it, but I'm glad.
There's our title.
Would you lose a death strangling?
Death strangling.
Yep.
Anyway, next up we got the Algae's Always Greener versus Nasty Patty, starting with Jordan.
Ooh. Okay. If you would have told me before this bracket that I would just be essentially ride or dying for Nasty Patty, I would be. I mean, yeah, I kind of get it, but it's weird that it's going this far. Nasty Patty.
I think this might be our most successful wildcard pick since Stanley Parable.
I mean, no, the one we just did in '94 went really well.
That's right. That's right.
Sim Tower.
Yeah.
So,
Vinny.
You
Hmm.
know, I want to see how far this will go, so I'm going to vote for Nasty Patty.
Mark.
yeah.
I have ordered a patty, and it is rather nasty.
Holy crap, man.
What have I
The
started?
Marc, Vinny, Jordan brigade just keeps marching on.
Fuck
Christian.
Do you think this is funny?
Yes. In a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Well, Mr. Funny Man. Is voting for Nasty Patty how you get your sick kicks?
Yes.
Well, it's just a regular Krabby Patty. Oh my goodness!
Squidward! Sorry, I just wanted to do it one more time. The Algae's Always Greener.
Taylor.
Death strangling.
That is closer to
I
Nasty
think I've
Patty
ruined
than
that for Nick now.
No, you haven't.
Okay, good. Thank goodness.
It's one of my favorite games of all time. You can't ruin it.
Okay, good.
Absolutely not.
I guess Algae. It doesn't matter. So. I don't have anything against Nasty Patty. It's got great ideas. It just doesn't. It's not full with like a billion lines I want to quote all the time.
Yeah, well, some SpongeBob episodes are more subtle.
I got it.
Yeah,
SpongeBob
quotability
Meets the
and
Strangler is
funny are not
incredibly subtle.
necessarily the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up we got Band Geeks versus Chocolate with Nuts.
Oh, leave me
Oh.
alone.
Bury me.
Leave me
Jordan?
alone.
bury me.
Oh my god. I'm giving it to Band Geeks, but this could be the final two, honestly.
Oh my god.
All right. Vinny?
I can't think of anything clever with these two, so I'm just going to go with Band Geeks.
Mark?
Chocolate with nuts.
Christian?
Band Geek.
And Taylor.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Then I'm going to give it to Chocolate with Nuts.
Yep.
I gotta support Jordan, the letter P. Can't forget.
And finally, we have no
Thank you,
weenies
Mark.
allowed versus Shanghai.
So yeah, I'm voting for Shanghaied because it's. I honestly thought it would go where Imitation Krabs went, and I'm relieved it's getting this far. So Shanghaied.
All right. Vinny?
No weenies allowed on this Shanghaied. I'm voting for Shanghaied.
Mark?
Shanghaied.
Christian?
Now, if I was going to vote for Shanghaied, then that would be my vote.
Can you try that again?
I know
But
what I
like-
said.
But like, make sense.
Oh,
How did that not make sense? That was a very direct statement.
Oh my god.
I'm going to count that as a vote for Shanghai. Taylor?
I'm just waiting to see if Christian overreacts because that's not what he voted for. But he's quiet. Yeah, I was gonna do a joke, but I feel like the mood has passed, so I'll just vote for Shanghai.
All right.
Okay, so that's a 5-0.
I guess so.
Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun.
All right. So next up, we got so we got chocolate with nuts versus the nasty patty.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with the wind. Nice. Marc. We're starting with Marc.
Sponge Who Could Fly is not on this bracket.
No, it's not.
Good.
Because it's nothing but walking cycles. You know this. I am gonna give it to chocolate with nuts.
Christian.
I would rather eat chocolate with nuts than the nasty patty.
Okay. Vinny.
I'm not feeling a burger tonight, so I'm just gonna go with some chocolate and nuts.
All right. Taylor.
Something clever, chocolate with nuts.
Well, we had a good run, Jordan.
Well,
You're voting for
I'm
chocolate
certainly
nuts
not
as well.
gonna-
All right.
No.
Oh.
I'm not gonna.
He's
I'm
ride or
not-
die.
I'm literally no. Look, it's running off the track, and I'm gonna die with it. I'm voting for Nasty Patty because I love the Coen Brothers.
Wait, that's a wild card.
Hey, babe.
That's right. Jordan's killed a wild card.
You tried to bury the evidence by voting
Listen,
for it.
It may not be dead. We just
Yep.
take its temperature.
Oh, wait a minute. That's right.
is
Jordan
this?
didn't kill it. He's not responsible for this.
No,
Oh, the rest
I
of you are.
tried.
Yeah, that's
died
right.
With it.
I don't know what the hell I was saying.
That's what he
I don't,
wants.
wait. I don't know what the hell someone else was saying. Whatever. Anyway. Kumquats, I don't know. No Weenies allowed versus wet
Hercules.
painters. Where was I?
Hercules.
No Weenies allowed versus wet painters. Marc.
Wet painters.
Christian.
Oh, I'm gonna repeat the funniest joke of all time: pet waiters.
That is pretty funny.
Oh, thank you.
Dog hospital.
I have to give
Actually,
it to
no.
Vinny. He came
I'm
up with the
gonna
idea.
respond the way Patrick did to the just hanging around joke in Wet Painters. Boom.
All right. Vinny.
No Winnies are allowed because this pet is. Damn it! This paint is still wet.
The pet is wet.
What did you
go
vote
out.
for?
This Yearly's is sponsored by dyslexia.
No Winnies.
Do you remember when
Oh,
he
really?
used to do one of these per bracket and now has every vote?
Taylor.
What did he vote for, though?
I think he said wet painters.
No
I think
Winnies
he's
allowed. That's what I voted
Oh,
for.
Yeah.
He said,
See, that's why you always got to double check. What's the score?
I did double check, and the double check confused
2-1.
me.
2-1 Wet Painters.
Who's whoever's after me? Go.
Jordan.
Oh, I can make it really easy for you and vote for Wet Painters.
He's not going to, but he can. No, I'm joking.
No,
I know
actually
he
am
is,
going
yeah.
to.
All right, and then
That's why the
Taylor.
paint. That's why the paint is still wet because it was too easy.
Jordan, when No Weenies Allowed died in Losers Round 4, who revived?
Some guy in an ambulance.
No, it was Weenie Hut Generals. Wet Painters.
Well played, my friend.
Yeah, we got chocolate with nuts versus wet painters.
Wow.
You know, can we look at the Final Four for a second?
What a great,
No.
what a great
I
Final
just
Four.
imagine it just
What a
shows up for
great Final
second.
Four. I'm happy with
You
it. All
know,
my picks went far.
I miss when Graham hosted.
Okay, I can do that.
Damn.
Mick, if you
Oh,
make
no.
me go last every single time, I'm gonna kill you.
Starting with let's start with who am I started with? Let's start with Vinny.
This shit's gonna have some nuts in it, so I'm gonna go with chocolate and nuts.
Okay. Next up, we got Jordan.
It is going to be chocolate with nuts, even though I'm really happy with how far Wet Painters got. That's a great episode, and I'm glad y'all think so too.
Taylor.
Is this the one with paint on? Paint on these chocolate with
Oh my God, Taylor. Well done. Well done, my friend.
Mark?
With much love and appreciation to wet painters, and you've messed up my dollar, Rama. I'm giving it the chocolate with nuts.
And last but not
What's
least,
that?
Christian.
Yeah, I guess I am the Squidward of the year, at least. I kind of did it to myself. Chocolate with nuts.
what did you do?
You would like to know.
Yes, that's why.
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? All right. Band Geeks versus Shanghaied. Starting with Vinny.
Band Geeks.
Jordan.
And the winner of the... I mean, yes, look, we all know what's about to happen here, but Shanghaied went so much farther, even though it's going to go to losers and yada yada. Shanghaied went a great deal further than I thought it would. I think it should get a pat on the back and a big thumbs up from everybody. I'm still voting for Band Geeks, but I'm very proud of Shanghaied for getting to this point in the bracket.
Taylor?
Shanghai's fantastic. Like when I rewatched it, I'm like, oh wow, this is great. And then it loses me just a
Thank God, because
little.
I was worried. I was worried this is going to be the one that you were like, oh, I don't know, Jordan. But
no, it was Imitation Krabs. It was always
okay,
Imitation
and I'm fine
Krabs.
with that.
I'm sorry, buddy.
As long as it's not this one, I'm glad I'm vindicated.
Well, because Imitation Krabs was your absolute favorite. That's why it's like, I don't know how to tell. And I think Dying for Pie was Mark's favorite, and those two are probably my least favorite ones on here.
Damn.
Ooh.
Sorry. But you know, that was ages ago. We're living in a Band Geeks world now.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Mark?
How did Shanghai get all the way up here? It's still a mystery. No, but I'm voting for Band Geeks.
All right. And Christian?
Band Geeks.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
This is the
Will
running
this
gag.
dyslexia ever end?
Is this not the peak of humor? Swapping letters?
All right. Shanghaied versus Chocolate with Nuts.
Bop being a Stitch.
Starting with The Wind Rising.
Jesus Christ.
Jordan.
Okay. Wow. It's so crazy because I'm gonna have to vote off the one that, or vote against the one that I put up, in favor of the one that I know is better, because Chocolate with Nuts is peak. It's one of those that just, again, so many gags hit and they're all back to back, and it just builds to this wonderful. I love Chocolate with Nuts so much. Everybody loves Chocolate with Nuts. It's really a thing of beauty, and I will vote for it over another extremely good episode in Shanghai.
Okay. Mark?
Pretty sure I've been voting for in regards to this is which episodes made me laugh, which has the most gags in it, and Chocolate with Nuts has gags to spare. So I'm getting with Chocolate with Nuts.
Yes.
All right.
Oh my God.
Vinny?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Shanghai.
Okay.
Okay.
Taylor?
Can I just say, I have had to fight against every instinct I have had this entire night for every time Mick goes Marky Mark to not add and the Funky Bunch.
And the Funky Bunch. Yeah, same.
It has been driving me crazy. Chocolate with Nuts.
It has been driving you Chocolate with Nuts.
Yeah.
Jordan's been holding
And-
back that joke for 21 years.
And last but not least, Christian.
I am voting for Knocklickith What's.
Oh, good gravy.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh,
Hold
just
on.
burn the whole thing down. Burn the whole yearlies
All
down.
right. Now we got Band Geeks versus Chocolate with Nuts, starting with Jordan.
Told you this would be the final two. Told you.
What do you want?
You probably all laughed.
Of course, this was.
Yes, I do want a medal. I want a big one with my smiling face
All right,
on it. because
Jordan,
I'm
make a
the
medal with a
greatest.
smiling
Okay.
face on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Back to the mines
Oh,
with you.
Look, I'm gonna have fun editing this. It'll just take 2 months. So Band Geeks is obviously going to win this bracket, but I love both of these two, and I think this is the best final two we could have had for this bracket. And I'm glad, even if this is the obvious sort of victors here, I'm glad y'all value the same things I do in SpongeBob cartoons, because these are both gag-packed, hysterical, well-crafted episodes. I'm giving it to Band Geeks, but I'm happy with both of these.
All right. Next up, we got Marc.
Yeah, these are top 1 and 2 for me in regards to best episodes.
Same.
Damn.
Do you need me to come back to you?
Yeah, I do.
Too bad. You need to live with your choices. I'm Graham now.
I was gonna say
What
last
does Marc
round.
do?
I thought that Mick would have gotten Graham here to host by now, considering rule of threes. But
No.
I am the one who grabs.
I'm making that asset.
Oh, shit. Okay, then. I am going to give it to Band Geeks.
That wasn't a joke. No. Okay, Band Geeks.
Oh.
All right. Vinny?
Band Geeks.
Taylor?
it already won, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Can we get the first 5-0 in a final round?
Have we never had a 5-0 in the final round?
I don't think so.
No.
Well,
Never.
let me ask you something, Christian. Are you going to vote for Band Geeks? Or are you going to vote for Gand Beaks?
It's not my turn.
Yeah, he goes last because I'm Graham.
Biggest cliffhanger.
Alright. WWCD. What
would Christian boo?
Jesus.
Just got to. I mean, listen. Band Geeks is the better episode. Chocolate with Nuts is the funnier episode.
Taylor, come on. We're so close to a 5-0. 5-0.
This is the only time this could ever happen.
You've even admitted it's a better episode.
You're right. I did just say out loud Band Geeks is a better episode. Fine, you win.
All right.
And so...
You're going to vote for Chocolate with Nuts?
I think we can finally have the first 5-0 with our winner of this bracket, Beak Scanned.
Jordan, play Sweet Victory.
Because it's
Absolutely.
Sweet.
With pleasure.
Sweet victory.
Yeah.
Happy 25th birthday, SpongeBob.
How did you guys know?
Enjoy this bracket where we clearly demonstrate that your best years were in between 2000 and 2004.
Yeah, but so were
Which,
all
to
of
be
our
fair,
best
my
years.
best years were from that period as well.
I mean, just look at the letter P.
Yeah.
Back in the 2000s, SpongeBob was in a very famous TV show.
Still is.
I'm glad that the
SpongeBob
asset of me with a bass drum is going to be a running thing this episode.
Do you have any
That
photos
some
of
guy
yourself from back then?
Yeah, I do.
What do you think I have ready to blackmail? Come on.
Jordan, put up my baby photos.
Jordan, I'll be honest, Jordan seems immune to blackmail.
All right. I'm
You
gonna
could have blackmailed yourself.
Jordan, put up blackmail
All right,
of yourself.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Jordan, put up every photo ever.
Hang on. Actually, guys, before we sign off, just really quick.
This is
Yes.
a bit.
I just want to see if this will work.
One sec.
One second.
No, I promise. There's a point to all this.
Okay.
Is someone talking about Superman?
Yes!
Yeah.
That's not-
That-
that's not-
Graham, would you like to do the outro?
Sure. You've been watching the Yearlies. This has been the SpongeBob
Showlies.
League. I hope you had fun.
Yes, let's go, boys. I've been vindicated.
I'm sorry.
We have
I
the best
meant to say the
host.
Showlies.
Yeah, Graham's been hopping around a bunch of different episodes today.
Graham MVP.
Busy day.
You'll see him soon in the Duck Sound FX
Uh-huh.
Louise.
And the next video is going to be 1999.
And this is also the part where he thanks us all for watching and links us to a bunch of other videos and says we love you and
Yeah, subscribe. And
You
all that.
condemns the one viewer whose name is Jacob this week.
Yeah,
99!
what Taylor said.
So yeah, great outro.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and the secret formula for the Krabby Patty